golden light cascades from towering trees that stretch towards a sky gleaming with a light not of the world of Ahriman. Glittering white towers, banners flapping in the wind. We hear trumpets blaring, calling home the banners of House Royce. Flying in the wind, the tree and key, the sigil of their house. What a glorious day here in the world between worlds, the Golden Orchard. Dozens of trees taller than castle walls, whose leaves reflect added light such that shadow dapples with a luminous glow as flittering butterflies made of magic itself arise from the foliage, rich jasmine and moss, the smell of flowers, as horses thunder down the main thoroughfare towards the open courtyard of a castle. We see a massive eagle flying overhead as the envoy of House Einfassen arrives. We see the horses of House Royce and Davinos and the various vassals of this place, and a carriage with iron bars as a prisoner of war comes to face trial. We see a carriage black as midnight and the clanking of plate armor as House Taconis approaches. It is the year 59, some 12 years before our story begins. The banners have been called home, for the Falconers' rebellion has ended, and the houses of nobility emerge victorious from this failed revolution. Alex, where on the grounds of House Royce is a 8-year-old Octus Taconis, I presume, hiding?
I think Octus is off to the side, away as much as he can get away from the rest of his family, in that he's never really comfortable or welcomed. So I think he's just off investigating some of the trees. He's never seen trees like this. This is his first time anywhere like the Golden Orchard, and it's blowing his mind. He is so engrossed in just the light and the feeling of magic that's here that's so different from home.
Looking around as your father, Primus Taconis, sort of exits, speaking to his children, you see Petra and Raya, your older siblings, are quite nearby. And says, "Well, this matter will begin shortly. I know Royce is going to make some endeavor to save the life of this Thiazi Fang, but we have, I think, a legal case that may, in fact," and you see doors of gold open as a very young Aranessa Royce commands a magic that she will no longer have as our main story begins, for indeed the gates of Fairy are still open. Lord Primus, my father wishes to speak with you. Primus turns around looking at those of his children who are here and says, "Stay close, look in order." You see his eyes sort of alight over to you, Octus. Why don't you use this opportunity in this demiplane to see if your connection to the Tenebral Reaches might be aided by the abundant magic of this place?
Yes, Father. I'll
Some
try.
recitations, perhaps?
Yeah, okay.
Time is of the essence, young Octus. And you see that he moves away. Many of your siblings had already begun to manifest some powers by this time. Mm-hmm. You look around from the courtyard, white gravel, stone, enormous trees. As the Taconis begin emerging, you see that two of the trees shake and faces appear. "Welcome to the Golden Orchard!" And you see that one of the trees looks down at you, sort of off from the main gate. As these two eyes open and a seam of bark opens along the mouth. Hello, little boy.
Hi.
Wow. Are you entering inside the castle walls?
I think they want me to stay out here.
Oh. Would you like an apple?
Sure, yeah.
A golden apple that you see, you even through the wax of its skin smells sweet. It's like you can smell fresh cut apples just holding this thing. Everything here is alive and rich and filled with energy.
I can eat this?
Yes, of course.
Takes a huge bite of the apple.
Looking next to the courtyard, you see that there is an enormous shimmering lake that has these huge, like 15-foot long, beautiful goldfish sort of swim through it. You look down and see that the fish are flying over a separate wing of the castle, which is under the lake. You see that there appears to be like people walking those parapets down there, and they don't appear to be wet. It's like something, maybe this lake is like some special kind of water, you can't tell, but it just looks like you're looking through the surface of a pond and seeing another castle down there. And at this moment, you hear behind you a sort of scuff, and you are pelted for 1 point of bludgeoning damage as your older brother, Ethrend, throws a rock at your head.
Ethrend.
What?
It hurt.
Oh, it hurt? Well, you should be focusing. You should already be able to manifest some lights or something. You're gonna embarrass everybody.
I'm trying, please.
You see that it turns around. At this moment, are there any other creatures nearby witnessing this act of aggression as a little kid throws a rock at his brother's head?
Yeah, I'm up in the tree sitting with my brother, and we're both snickering.
Next to you, you see wearing that kind of Royce green little needle sword at his side, looking also very childlike. What does Thimble look like in this memory?
She looks about 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And she's wearing these little, like, green overalls that are a little bit rugged. They look like they might have been nice at some point, but she rolls in the dirt a lot, and they're just, like, kind of messy. Her hair's a little bit longer and into little pigtails.
Thimble, your brother Twig is near you. You see he's taking an enormous bite of a blueberry that's holding up most of his hand. He looks down and says, "Poor kid. What are they? They're the Ticonis family, right?"
Yeah, they're shitheads. Although, I don't know. He doesn't seem too bad, but Ticonis in general, absolute dog shit.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Were you fighting these guys out there?
Yeah, we were fighting them all the time. You wouldn't believe it. They're weak as fuck, but they do have some pretty cool magic.
Oh, that's pretty good. Inside, you hear trumpets blaring, and you see that there's a shout from one of the Einfossen saying, "The pixie companion of the captive has escaped."
Listen, so they're putting Thaz on trial today. Don't worry, nothing bad's gonna happen.
What? On trial?
Yeah. I think the Ticonis are trying to get him killed or something, but we don't have anything to worry about.
Oh, well, Lord Royce is not going to let anything like that happen. He's still married to Lady Ernesta.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Should we go stab this older kid?
Sure.
You see Ethrend sort of menaces Octus some more. And Thimble, what do you do in this moment?
I'm gonna fly down and pick up a rock and throw it at Ethrend.
Go ahead and give me an attack.
Okay. Oh, jeez. I was rolling all these dice. Let's see. Oh, cool, 3.
3. The rock whizzes by. See, Azune goes, "Ah! Stupid fairies!"
Get out of here. You're not welcome in our orchard.
Yeah, I am. Our families are allied. The Ticonis are a proud family, and we're allies with House Royce.
Yeah, all right, then get inside and get out of my orchard.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna hang out here.
He says, oh, no, I meant like, what do you, okay. And you see that Twig looks over and goes, hey, you should listen to my sister. She's killed, I think, dozens of your family and bannermen.
Yeah, pretty much.
You see Atherin goes, that's not true, is it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I've been in battle. I'm a hardened warrior. A warrior.
Atherin, go ahead and give me an intimidate roll with advantage. The energy is absolutely perplexed.
Oh, 19!
19! Atherin goes, Father! And rushes inside. And Octus, you are there looking at two pixies hovering in the air.
Believing the exact same thing that Atherin believes. He's just...
You should duck next time someone throws a rock at your head.
I didn't see him throw it.
I look down at the apple. You know, if you let it ferment, it'll get you real fucked up.
I don't know what that means.
Drunk.
Okay. I've never been drunk.
Really?
I'm just a kid.
We're kids forever. And we get drunk all the time.
What? Sorry, my name's Octus. Hi, who are you?
Hello. I'm Thimble. This is my brother Twig.
Hi.
Hi, Thimble, Twig. Hi, nice to meet you. Are you gonna throw rocks at me too?
No. Unless you are like the rest of your family.
Hearing the barking of dogs from inside, you see that Twig says, you better go hide. I'll go hold him off. You see he darts into the castle.
We should go hide.
Okay, yeah.
Although, here, come with me. And I'm gonna lead him to where there's like a window that we can like peek in and watch the trial and make sure nothing super bad happens to that. Don't worry, Thaz not gonna get hurt today, okay?
Okay.
He's just on trial, it's no big deal.
Right. Seemed like a big deal.
Go ahead and give me stealth checks, both of you. And a reminder right now, Thimble, you're first level, and
I'm a child.
you're a child. You have child stats.
I got child stats. We all know child stats.
Oh no!
No,
That's a 19.
Oh good, I rolled a 2.
a 19 and a 2. On a group stealth check, Octus, you see that Thimble begins to...
Just shy of crits both ways.
Just shy of crits both ways. You see that Thimble darts forward towards a window. You are pretty sure that that window is magically guarded, although you don't feel anything in the pit of your stomach telling you that. You know that your family would be able to sort of sense it innately, but...
Wait, please, don't go through there.
Thimble, you hold up and stop real quick, looking in at the window, into the room, and you do see that around the edge of the window, as Octus stops you, there is some humming kind of entity, and you realize this is one of many sort of arcane protected windows. If you were
That was never there before.
looking at it from an angle, you see that, yes, this window shows you inside the castle, but if you were to fly through it or touch it, you see an endless stretch of black, leafless trees stretching into Harrow, the home of the Dark Fae on the other side of the Golden Orchard.
I think they put some extra protections up today because
Because of you?
no, not because of me, because of you.
I'm done.
Because of your family. Because you guys are here. And they don't know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What are you gonna do? What are you doing, by the way? Why were you outside when the rest of your family was inside?
I can't do anything.
Aw.
I don't have any magic right now, at least. I have a spot. It hasn't happened yet.
I'm gonna fly and like look in your ear. That sucks for you.
Yeah. So they don't really care what I do. Or when where they just leave me alone.
That's lonely.
Yeah. It is.
I got lots of brothers and sisters. They're all pretty cool.
I have lots of brothers and sisters.
Not pretty cool.
No. They're really powerful, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, no, I really did fight them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you think Thiazi is the criminal, right?
He's not a criminal. But yeah, he was fighting your family.
They gonna...
And Aranessa's family, which is a little messed up.
Why?
Well, because he's married to Aranessa.
Oh, whoa.
I know.
That's... Why would he... That's complicated.
Yeah, I don't think she liked it very much. In fact...
You look inside and see in the defendant's sort of area that a manacled Thiazi Fang is standing there.
That's him.
You see his arms are crossed and manacled behind him. And you see that he sort of stares out despondently. Aranessa, you can see, is looking across the chamber, heartbroken that he's not making eye contact with her. And you can see that the Einfaz and the Cormorant are here, and you see that that Aranessa's father is speaking. You see that Lord Otto Einfaz is speaking and saying, "The burden of proof will be on you, Lord Taconis, that he is a mercenary. All of his fighting was contracted work. The laws of our land are clear. If we were to execute him, think about what would happen to all of the mercenary. No one would take a contract again. We ourselves would not be able to hire. This rule is in place." And you see as he's speaking, both of you give me a perception check.
Oh, God.
10.
15.
15. You see that Thiazi sort of scratches the side of his head. And I think as you see him do that, it just sort of looks like he's sort of standing there swaying, scratches his head. About 30 seconds later, scratches his head again. And as he does, you realize that he's slipping his hand out from his manacles to do that and come back. And you recognize that he's doing the exact same motion on loop over and over again. And a moment afterwards, you hear a voice behind you invisibly go, "Thimble, how's it going?" And you see that Thiazi appears behind you. "We only have a few minutes. They're going to notice. Listen, we should get back to my old room because there's a couple things that I left up there. Do you
Hi.
This is Octus. He's...
Octus Taconis?
Yeah.
But don't worry, his brother threw a rock at his head. I don't think they like him very much.
Yeah.
You got a rock thrown at your head by your brother? That's not nice."
Yeah, well,
Right?
they don't like me that much.
Oh. Why are you left out here? Everybody else?
My dad thought that maybe this place would stoke my abilities and make me have magic that I don't have.
He's powerless. It's sad.
Thimble, don't say things are sad so loud.
Sorry.
Yes.
He looks and says, "Kid, there's a lot of ways to get magic."
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'm not supposed to have magic. I grew up, a few minutes outside the Tanners in Dolnakyar.
Yeah, and then he started snorting pixie dust up his butt. And suddenly...
Yeah, I snorted it
super
up my
powerful.
butt.
How do you do
Yeah, I
that?
used my
You
lungs
suck
to
it
snort
up.
it up my butt. That's
Yeah,
great, Thimble.
he's really strong.
Look, we gotta rob myself. My old things are
let's go, let's
upstairs. You're interested in magic, right?
Yeah.
Thimble, why don't you take our young friend here and head up? Oh, because you're a Taconis, and you're welcome here.
Technically.
Technically is how a lot of very clever things work. I'm gonna head over to the stables. You head upstairs to my room.
Okay. Hey! Aranessa was looking at you in there. Longingly.
I don't know if longingly is what the look is, but
I don't know.
you got it. Thimble. I'll have none of that. Octus,
Yeah.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thimble.
I'll
look
go get your
after
shit.
it. All right? Good. And you see he turns off to head away. Octus, You look out and see Thimble next to you smiling as Thiazi leaves and turns invisible again. What do you do in this moment?
Okay. So that was Thiazi?
Yeah, isn't he great?
He seems cool. He has magic. And
He's got magic.
Didn't always have magic. Okay, yeah.
You take up off the stairs, running up. Each stair alights with a small glow of multicolored energy as notes of music play ascending the staircase, and you begin your first, I'll say, misadventure together. And that's all for this vision of what once was in the Golden Orchard.
Oh, man.
We'll continue our story with our schemers in Dol Makyar on tonight's episode of Critical Role.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Critical Role Announcement Playhouse. Our sponsor for this episode is Thorum, makers of cool rings and watches. Sam, what do you got to say about it?
Thorum makes rings out of meteorite, whiskey barrel, ironwood, dinosaur bone, and more. And they offer minimalist watches in a variety of materials. Founded in 2012, founder Caleb Martin couldn't afford an engagement band for his now wife, Steph. So he made one and proposed. How romantic is that? Aww. So sweet. And these days, when I think romance, I think vertical dramas. Now, these are super dramatic miniseries for phone viewing shot vertically. Very soapy, you know what they are. So with the help of some amazing actors, I would like to present to you a recreation of the proposal of the founders of Thorum, but as a vertical drama. I take you there now. Okay, here we go, guys. Ready? And action.
Hey, Steph. It's me, your boyfriend, Caleb Martin. Oh, you're so beautiful. Will you?
Oh, Liam, just a little bit over. Could you move further in? It's a vertical drama, remember?
Oh,
yeah, great. Keep going. Keep going.
I'm sorry. Steph, my love, will you marry me?
A little bit closer. Yeah.
Caleb, my darling, you know I would.
A little bit closer. You really got to get closer to the vertical drama, you guys.
You know I would if only we could afford a stylish wedding ring.
But that's just it. Look, I made you this ring.
Oh, you know what, Liam? You got to hold the ring in frame. This is a vertical drama. I can't stress that enough.
But look, I made you this ring.
Wow, that ring is so unique and stylish. We would...
Even closer. Even closer together if you can.
I went to NYU.
We should create a company
Perfect.
that makes unique and stylish rings for everyone.
It will never happen now that I've stolen your prototype.
Allison, we cannot see you. We cannot see you. You have to get into frame. This is a... You got to center up. Center up. Even closer.
Now you can never get married.
I'm sorry, Sam. This is really awkward and it's really hitting my goony ear.
Yeah, honestly, one of us smells like Gorgonzola.
No, I think that's you. Actually, it's melting my mustache off.
Yeah, and cut. Oh, wow, that was amazing. Good job, you guys. Good acting.
Really nice.
With over 10,000 five-star reviews, free silicone activity bands and walnut wood ring boxes, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty, or warrant, as it says in the prompter. Oh, you. Get him, arrest him. Wear your story with Thorum. Whether you need a wedding ring, anniversary ring, or just want a ring that looks awesome, head over to thorum.com and use code Critical Role. Matt, back to you.
Thank you, Sam. Liam, you have an announcement, I believe.
Oh, gee, we're excited to share that Daggerheart is now available on Fantasy Grounds. Woo! Yeah! This virtual tabletop provides tools for campaign management, maps, rules integration so you can jump into a campaign online and focus on telling great stories without worrying about managing the mechanics. Am I right? Fantasy Grounds is totally free to start. So you can bring your table together for adventures anywhere, anytime. Visit fantasygrounds.com/Daggerheart to learn more. Maps.
I miss our vertical drama right now.
All right, well then, Travis, I believe you have a little thing to talk about, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, in case you missed it, Season 4 of The Legend of Vox Machina will premiere on June 3rd. It's the beginning of another incredible story arc, and we guarantee you that Vox Machina will fuck shit up. Plus, Wayne Brady is Taryon Darrington. Many more updates to come, and art and trailers, so please keep your eyes peeled on our socials and newsletters and all the good stuff so you don't miss a beat.
Brilliant. It's going to be good.
Thank y'all. And last up, Darrington Press's newest game, A Familiar Find, is now available in the Critical Role shops and at the Darrington Press Guild stores. Now, Familiar Find is a lighthearted card game where you play as an animal companion, racing across all corners of Exandria to gather magical ingredients, but you're not alone. Rival familiars lurk nearby, attempting to set traps and sabotage your plans at every turn. Oh, your friends will hate each other by the end of it. It's great. That's not true. It's wonderful. No, the game is sized to travel anywhere you go and includes 10 familiar characters to play, each with their own unique abilities, including beloved beasts such as Trinket, Mister, and Pate.
My boy.
I think it's Pat.
A Familiar Find was designed by Ian Zhang with art by John Ramsey and Svetlana Kucheryavenko. And if you grab your copy from your local Darrington Press Guild store, you'll also have a chance to receive unique location promo cards with your purchase. So grab yours today and learn more at darringtonpress.com/afamiliarfind.
I want to see.
Go for it.
Yeah, bring it.
And Marisha, you got some announcements.
You guys, our beacon show, Daggerheart Azurum, featuring the talented cast from Viva La Dirt League, just wrapped up on the Beast Feast campaign frame and has now jumped into a brand new storyline, Hammer Time.
Is it about that song?
No.
We can't afford
Please, no, we can't. For anyone who has been waiting to dive into the world of Daggerheart Azurum, now is the best time to start watching. Each distinct campaign arc, while part of the larger ongoing series, is designed to function as a wonderful yet self-contained story. So, if you're not already a Beacon member, you can start a free 7-day trial and check it out right now at beacon.tv/join maps.
MC Heather, always in our heart.
Got it. Join. Boom. Well, I think that concludes our announcements. Yep. So with that, let's go ahead and jump back into Ahriman.
Woohoo! Oh!
What do I do with my hands?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Critical Role. We return here to the world. You're wondering if I'm going to narc on you.
Yes, I am.
Well, I'm afraid this night. Liam said always be masturbating.
There was context.
There's context.
Honestly, almost makes it more weird.
I tried to help him.
I'm new. We return to the schemer's table here in Dolmakia, deep in the sewers under Caravan Hill, where our brave adventurers have gone underground. One adventurer sort of becoming an adventurer fully this night. Indeed, Halandil Fang waiting at the gate, looking down and realizing that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step and the road goes ever on. This road led down into some nasty sewers because you've been hot on the trail of Demidus Blix, the illusionist grad student of the Penteveral, who went missing after you discovered he helped the House of Taconis perhaps unbeknownst to him, cover up the massacre at the Palazzo Davinos. Having sprung Misha Undragor from prison, you guys had an eventful night at the Seven Stars Tavern. Hal connecting with Romina Roundtree with all of the intel she had from working at the Stahlkeep, the sort of manse here in Dolmachiar of House Einfassen. Bolaire played a hand of cards with a horrifying merchant named Druspin Fortunata, a traveling wizard named Arnisha Vane, having taken the seat of gnomish smuggler Pimley Morn, and played a hand of cards with King Augustus Valian, who was come and absconded from the Seven Stars as Hound of the King Sir Martin came and found his liege and got him the hell out of this bar to get back to the business at hand, staying with Mr. Bowsprit, a merchant that you have some familiarity with. Murray pinned down Pimley and found out that he had indeed, having recognized the blue flame of the candlelight, had indeed been part at first of trying to get Demodus Blix out of town after whatever task he accomplished for the Taconis. It seemed that he must have, gotten the hell out of Dodgers from seeing the writing on the wall. And Pimley realized that this was a little too hot for him and dumped the desperate Demodus, who was depending on him for help, into the clutches of the Crow Keepers, to whom Demodus owed some money. Following the Crow Keepers, after Murray made contact with an ally in Caravan Hill, the soothsayer Temelo, Temelo gave you a reading of your cards, speaking surreptitiously of the eye she had been keeping on the guard tower, the old tavern frequented by the leadership of the Crow Keepers. The Crow Keepers, you were told, were in disarray, their Guildmaster Solomon having been killed several days ago by the elven warrior Vaelus, who then left town after the world's first known revenant was created. You see that they seem to be in disarray, and took Demodus into their own custody after paying Pimley Morn handsomely for doing so. You went deep underground, where you discovered this hiding place of the Crow Keepers and them speaking to something inhuman in the chamber beyond. A careful illusion was cast and created for you to look out and essentially draw some of the Crow Keepers away. This city thief is affected by a phantasmal force and heard an illusion from Hal and a rock hurled into the muck water beyond. And many of them are about to peel out. However, we must resolve at the top of initiative one of them who spotted a strange sight of a mask peering around the corner here. We enter initiative, but before we enter initiative, we must first produce your heroes.
Oh! Yes!
Murray Magnesson!
Look at her!
Halandil Fang!
Oh, wow.
Bolaire Lathalia!
Oh, my man. Look at him. He's so pretty.
And Azune Nayar.
Yeah.
Gimme.
So cool.
Wow. I will let you guys, now that you can see the extended version of the map with the pathway you guys have taken down here, kindly place your minis where you would in this area here.
Okay. Bolaire, you were like up and had peeked around the corner for
So
that.
I'm going to be in the far corner there.
Great.
Far corner where?
Like in the corner over there.
Here where the crates are?
So you're like here amongst the crates essentially, right?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, dipped around the corner, dipped back.
I might have even tried to go a little deeper, but yeah, that'll do.
Murray's gonna stay towards the back.
Cool. Yep.
I want to be up a little bit, but not.
Murray, by the way, you remember that you did your tremor sense to get a lay of the land beyond.
That's right.
And kind of see a vision of all of this and communicate it to your partners. You also know that there is a way to go back up the staircase and find your way down these ladders, essentially.
I'll actually. I would throw me in the far. I think I would have been back to wall, back there because I know I got tagged.
So
Kind
back.
of like here.
Where
you
yeah, like actually,
But it was Bolaire's mask that popped out for a second.
Yes, correct.
Alerting one of those to...
Yes, one of them, there was a lot of noise and ruckus, and this one is shouting, guards, guards, guards. You know that it's this sort of hulking, bruiser-looking guy right there that is the one who made you.
Yeah, I want him to get in there.
But again, I think it's important to say in this moment, with a lot of chaos happening, made is a relative term, right? In other words, he saw something down that passageway, but it's not that he didn't hear the splash or the illusion or anything else. It's not that he's not hearing his companions say they're going that way, but he knows he saw something.
He saw something.
And
And what we've seen is you peek out, do something, and then just kind of back up and get in that corner.
I backed out into the corner.
Okay, I think I would be maybe right next to Howl. Is that a place that I can stand on? That kind of platform? That's
Sure.
stone?
Yeah, right there, man.
I think I would be there.
Hell yeah.
And DM,
Yeah.
can you remind me, one of the two people guarding that sewer entrance has the whammy on them from Bolaire.
Whammy
That
right
one.
here. In fact, let me get a token on there just for us to be super clear. Great.
And that's a temporary whammy?
That is. Hold on. I can give you the whole rigmarole for that.
And the other one is in his right mind. Best we know. I mean, we can't see him, but you narrated that he spotted a weird horror movie mask peeking around the corner. Okay. And there's a group of other folks going, get him, as they run after the illusion that we see.
That running has not started. This one is, we're sort of doing the immediate moments after that illusion. So this one is shouting into the room, alerting other people of what's going on.
I can, he's affected by it. It's a concentration spell, so he thinks he saw, and I can drop the concentration spell and he'll stop seeing it or be aware of it, but which I have to do because it's just far enough back there where once he hits it, I don't think I can move a phantasmal force.
Oh my gosh. But what he believes is that enemies ran off down the hall. We mixed some things together and they heard someone else.
And I'm debating whether or not to let him die so that clearly something bad is up there or not.
I don't know. I don't know.
So, once he gets into my target, I can have him take 2d8 psychic damage.
Dies.
But he would have to actually pay attention and make an attempt to he would have to do an investigation check to see if it's not real. But also, if I drop it, he still will think it's real. It's just he won't see it anymore.
Okay.
We can't
we can't do it.
So yeah, he's fine. He would have to see. Someone would have to prove to him that there was nothing there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are you all placed?
I think so.
The first thing we are going to resolve is what happens as this Crow Keeper, as this one turns to shout into the chamber about what he's seen, this other one, not seeing any of this, is going to rush around the side here. Rushing around the side, I'm going to roll. Okay. Moving around the corner, enters here. Do you guys have visible sources of light on you for travel?
I extinguished my torch.
Extinguish your torch.
Is there no light?
I mean, that was our only light source, and what we were relying on was the torches that were being lit from the area itself.
Great. So in that case, with that torchlight extinguished, this human rogue rounds the corner, stepping forward. I'm going to need everybody here to make one final group stealth at the top of this. Because you have extinguished the torch, you may do so with advantage.
Advantage.
I think that makes it a straight roll for me. My stealth checks are at disadvantage because of my armor.
Yep.
That's true.
Yep.
It could be worse.
What do we get?
14.
14, okay.
Don't make that face.
Could be worse.
What did we get, Hal?
A 7.
Oh no.
Could be that.
7, great. 14, 7.
12.
12. 12. 12. Okay. So,
Tangling. Oh boy.
this figure rushes down, rushes around the corner, stops right here in the dark, so you can see him kind of silhouetted because torchlight's being cast from here and flickering on this back wall. So it's so dark in here, you can't see his face at all. It's just his silhouette framed against dappled, weak torchlight on stone and water behind him. And as he stands looking in the doorway, he goes, "Hey!" And reaches down to a bag to grab torch for him. Bolaire and Azune, you share an 11 initiative. You are going to be the only ones able to act before this guy pulls the torch out.
Exciting.
Okay.
And you go first.
I go first. So I'm going to...
But I'll point it out that with no light here, you also are going to need to make you will get disadvantage on any attack rolls against him.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm going to try and definitely circle around him so that he can't leave.
Okay.
Actually, it's probably better that you do that.
Great.
I'm going to get right behind him.
Great.
And I'm just going to whisper in his ear, "Silence."
Okay.
And I'm going to be casting. I'm casting the command.
Okay. Great.
That is a save against a wisdom of 14.
Save against a wisdom of 14. He fails. Remains perfectly silent.
Oh, good.
Great. That is your action. Any bonus actions from you?
I don't even know if I can. Let me see.
You have mage armor?
Yeah, no, I got nothing.
Azune, that is you.
Okay.
I have no bonus action.
Seeing Bolaire move in, I am going to follow suit. If I can reach. Step thing. Get me. Yeah, please. My arms are not long enough. I'm just going to close in.
That's weird.
Okay.
Right there.
Great.
That's very weird.
And you good?
Yeah, I just see a thing I'm going to make a note of because I don't know why it's on my thing.
Okay. There's a lot of cool stuff that I could do, but it's all loud or very bright, and I'm not going to do any of those things. I'm instead going to just straight up attack this guy.
Cool.
I'm flanking him, which would give advantage, but I'm also at disadvantage because of the darkness. So I'm going to have
to be rolling straight.
roll. Please hit, please hit, please hit.
Blair, are you like out in the open now?
Look what I did.
What'd you do?
You stay in. You stay in.
It's a crit.
It's a crit. 20! All right!
Oh, the things I wish I could do right now, but they're all so loud and bright.
Always be masturbating.
I know, right? Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah, thankfully, it's dark, but I definitely know I'm a little visible there.
I do want to confirm for you, Bolaire, that I think you only used 15 feet of movement to get there. If anyone else comes down the hallway, you will be visible in that spot.
Okay, so do I still have space to move, or is that
You do still have space left.
Okay.
You do still have space left. That is correct.
I will definitely do that then.
Okay. Is that happening in tandem, or will I need to roll that at
you
disadvantage?
both have an 11.
We're on the same fucking
initiative.
number.
Great. I'm fine with you guys acting in tandem here.
Beautiful.
Cool.
So
I
will
love
hop
that
back over here.
Cool.
so much.
Great. Okay. So Azune.
Yeah.
You crit.
I do. How do we crit? Is it full damage? plus
No,
one-
roll double your dice.
Double dice. Okay.
Double dice. That's correct.
All right. And he was
right.
going to
Is that-
take
No.
a 7 and a 1.
Oh,
So it's not,
Could be
you
worse.
take 12 points of damage, bludgeoning.
12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Wait.
Can you describe your weapon for us and what it looks like when you attack?
Yeah.
So, 1d. Yeah.
Yes, I'm 1d8. So I already had my shield in my hand.
hang on, wait for
Yeah.
clarification. Do you mean double the dice as in he gets to roll 2d8s or roll 1d8 and double it?
I believe, unless they changed it in 2024, I believe it's double dice.
Yeah, that's a typical
Dice.
rule.
Yeah.
So 2 dice. And I rolled 2 dice. Okay.
Yeah, my normal weapon attack is 1d8.
So you're rolling
So I rolled 2.
2d8.
Yes.
Okay.
2d8 and then plus the 4.
Plus my 4, yes.
Okay.
All right.
So 7 plus 1 plus 4 is 12.
12 damage.
So a shield was already in my hand, and a part of the attack, I draw my Warhammer, which is It's made of steel. It's slender. It's got leather wraps around the handle, and it's a very it's seen. You can tell that this has done some hammering. It's got some worn bits of it, and I just lay right into his chest.
For Hal and Murray, I don't know. Hal has been in war. Was a young kid. He was in the War of Accident decades ago. Murray, I don't know if you have been in war or not, or in pitched combat. So, Azune, you step forward. This crow keeper goes, "Hey!" barking out because all he saw was a bit of a mask. It's almost like a weird, creepy thing to see. Can't be sure, but he heard the splash. His friend is shouting, "Guards, guards!" He goes for the torch. Bolaire slinks behind him and goes, "Silence." He goes, "Gah!" And as he whips around, horrified by this mask, all you need, Azune, you don't need to see his features. The silhouette is enough. And your hammer connects with a thud into his chest such that you can feel the blunt head of the hammer cuts through cloth. It hits his chest so hard. Just bam! Ribs crack and a heart is stopped instantaneously. Blunt force trauma through the rib cage into the heart, dead.
Love that.
Bolaire, you have 15 feet of movement, and Azune, this guy is about to drop and make a heavy thud on the ground.
I'm gonna try to catch him, or at least interpose myself so that he lands on me instead of.
If I am stay within, I meant to actually stay within range there. Can I assist on this if there's just two of us there to pick him up?
Yes, I'll go ahead and say that each of you guys can make a dexterity saving throw, DC 10. Okay. Try to catch the body as it falls.
19.
17.
Hell yes. Bolaire, silence. A hammer. As you say silence, the susurrus of it, thankfully, Azune, hitting this guy max force in the chest with a hammer, which already through fabric would have made a softer thud anyway, sails sonically under the noise of running water. His body would have made a loud bang, but a hammer blow to the heart, boom, and each of you gets under one of his shoulders, and with 15 feet of movement, you can flatten against the darkness of the wall as you hear footsteps begin to thunder down the hallway past you. We are going...
I have my hand on his chest.
Yes.
I want to feel the lack of his heartbeat.
Okay.
As we sit there silently.
You can feel autonomic twitches in his extremity, even as his heart has stopped.
One, I say under my breath.
Pulling him to the side, you then hear the voice of a commander of the Crow Keepers go, "After them! Find out if there's a captain. If it's just guards, slit their throats and dump them in the water." And you see Phantasmal Force here grabs 3 others. 1, 2, 3. And on their turn, they're going to take a double move. And they sprint all the way and get probably to the water's edge here, as you see one of them calls out and says, "Where are they?" And you see that the one with the Phantasmal Force goes, "They're right ahead, follow me!" With a level of confidence that strikes the other 3 as deeply confusing, though they all did hear a shout of a guard a moment ago.
And there is still, because we tossed it, there's still some ripple in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I drop Phantasmal.
Okay. That is their turn. This, you see, one of them is going to rush here, looking out of the hallway. Another, you hear another footstep there. The commander calls out and says, "Run them down! Listen, allow me. We don't have time." We are going to move, and I think here. Hold on 1 second. 5, 10, 15, 20.
What's that?
Is that the big what the fuck?
That's
a big what the fuck.
Big what the fuck.
What is it? Okay. Looks friendly.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay. Flinging an effect down the hallway, you hear a voice go, "They must not survive to know of this place." Something under the water erupts, and all of you narrowly missing these crow keepers who flush to the wall and hitting the area that each of you were standing in but a half a second before, an eruption of stinking muck moves around. All you can see here on these sort of like wooden barricades that are up is that they are standing there. There is a momentary eruption of jet black filth and sludge that gushers forth like a tidal wave, and as it collapses to the ground in a stinking heap, where these were, there is a few seconds of a handful of them dripping black sludge before they dissolve and are gone.
Cool.
We are going to remain in initiative. However, you do not know if you are made or not, or if your presence is known here in this moment. You just see something, hear a horrifying voice, and see some enormous eruption of magic occur in that moment. Hal, it is your turn.
Wow. This one clarifying question before I start talking further here. The group that went chasing the illusory noise, are they still?
They are still where you see them on the map.
Okay.
So, in other words, to allow them to clear, you would have to potentially either give another round for them to move further on, or take some other course of action. But like that's 60 feet of movement from them, essentially.
But their attention is not on us.
It's not on you guys. Whatever your 12 perception was enough at least to bypass the passive perception of these crow keepers.
Okay, so headspace-wise, Hal is kind of reeling. He just watched Bolaire, good friend but yet living mask, and his warden friend just SEAL Team 6 a guy in 6 seconds flat. He is feeling totally out of body in this moment. He cannot believe that events have reached this point. He's a little bit paralyzed, and I think all he's going to do is look over his shoulder at Murray and say, you watch my ass and I'll watch yours. And intention and genuine need ripples out from his voice and hits your spine, prickles up the back of your neck, and you take a bardic inspiration. And Hal doesn't know what the fuck to do right now, so I think he's just literally going to creep up to the edge to watch as this group runs. Also scared of what looks like corrosive slime or sewage or something.
Sticking in the shadow. On your bardic inspiration, right? Or D6?
Yeah, new class. Who this? It is D6. Okay. Yes.
Murray, that is going to be your turn.
Up the stairs, then. Going.
I just give you a nod.
I just kind of look at everybody and be like, and I'm gonna go up and around to this staircase. Make my way to that ladder in this way.
Hell yes.
Up and around.
So action and movement 60 feet, right?
We're going
I
up there.
believe so. I believe so. Huh?
Well, there was the one
there's a second floor that takes us to ladders that go down.
Done and done.
Right.
Cool. That's right.
Great.
Yes.
I'm playing shell-shocked, but that's the smart thing to do.
Killer. Okay, awesome.
Thank you for the refresh.
Okay, bada boom. Okay, great. You guys are going to move through in that case to So the whole squad is heading up. Is the plan for the whole squad to head up the staircase together?
I think.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Hal doesn't have a plan, but if that's what everybody does, he follows.
Just gonna put our hand on your shoulder and very
great. Okay. Then we are going to fast track through.
Do you want this little cork buddy?
No, I got you right here.
You got one?
I got one right
his own
here.
cork buddy.
We're going to fast track through this. Bada boom. And we will re-enter this round of combat. So Hal, Murray, you move up into position running up the stairs. On the upper level, you see another area of the sewer up here. The ladder comes up and continues also up past you to another level above. But you look down and can hear the voices once again down here. Going back to the top, you hear as you're moving the Zagi, the captain of the Crow Keepers, turning around and going, "Allow me. We have to bring this to the Draconis. All right, we can buy favor with them. They've found us already. This cannot be given away idly. It must be bargained for. They are searching for her as well." And you see that back to the top of initiative, Azune and Bolaire. You guys are going to follow Murray up to the top here. With that, these Crow Keepers vanish off the map. You have successfully, with a very expensive series of illusions and a phantasmal force, you have bought 4 enemies with trickery off the battlefield.
Wait, did you move?
I squandered my movement because I'm. I'll catch up. I have a way to catch up, but.
There's no way in hell I would leave Hal behind. I would ready my move and wait for him, but I'm happy to.
Copy that.
Yeah, I think the two of us would have just kind of brought you along.
In that case, as Murray goes to investigate the way, because Murray is the only one with tremor sense that saw where the entrance was, you guys wait for Hal. As Hal, you look around. This thing here, you get a glimmer with your dark vision. It is not striding. Its corpus seems to inch forward as though guts or intestines made of ropes of filth and mold were spilling from a torso in coiling heaps in front of it. 2 dim yellow eyes, some bioluminescent, a sickly maggot firefly in the eyes of this hateful, hidden mold spirit. As it turns around, tendrils grasping off of it, and you can feel its presence, Murray, because much like a fungus, its visible component is but the smallest of itself. It's his network is in the walls here in this space. Turning around, Hal, you get one last look as he attempts to summon something back. I'm going to roll in front of the board. You don't want a 5 or a 6.
Okay.
2. Tendrils seep into the stone, but before this creature can drink deeply of the darkness, whips around and says, "Zagi, you lack vision." And is going to proceed back to this table and begin to ascend up the staircase. You hear the voice of Zagi go, "Hands off the merchandise!" And the spirit here in the dark stops. Hal, that's going to be your turn, and you can move into position with the rest of them.
Yes, so body course, still like ears going coursing with adrenaline. In fact, I will use the orc trait Adrenaline Rush as a bonus action, which gives me the dash action, and I gain 2 temporary hit points.
Hell yeah.
So I will just use dash and movement, which will get me 60 feet.
Yes.
I don't know if that gets me to the group. If I need it, I can then use my action to go further.
I think you'll need to use your action to get all the way in. Great. You guys rush up behind. You have your ready to actions. As you rush forward, the four of you are hearing underneath this sort of continuation of Zagi speaking to the figure that she referred to as Laumi. Murray, that is going to be your turn. The four of you are up here, but while we are very much in initiative because time is of the essence, you do not know if you are made yet.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, no worries if not, my tremor sense lasts for 10 minutes. Has it been that long?
It has definitely been under 10 minutes, for sure.
It has. So can I get an idea of, or can I see pretty well of what's happening in here and what we're working with?
With that tremor sense, Laumi is moving across the wooden walkway towards Daymond, and it seems that Zagi just stopped him, saying, "Don't touch the merchandise." Okay.
Maybe we could cause a little bit of infighting. Continue to take some people off the table here.
We'll have to lure them out somehow.
Is Laumi looking at Zagi?
Give me an insight check.
Okay.
And I'll allow you to do so with advantage here.
Okay. Okay. That is going to be, thank goodness. Insight, you said? That's going to be 16.
On a 16, your tremor sense comes back in. Thinking about the ability to, you're thinking about what you might be able to do in terms of trickery or infighting. And I think on that insight, you can feel tremors through the ground of the other crow keepers running that way, and it occurs to you that with the spell dropped and with them following, there are no guards for them to find. They may come back sooner rather than later. And on top of that, I think you also can just hear the panic in the voice of Zagi down here. With the surprise of the guards, which was a good ruse, but no one is going to hear themselves get discovered by guards and decide to continue with a slow-paced negotiation.
No.
Whatever's happening down there is going to resolve in the next few seconds.
Yeah, we gotta...
I mean, ideally, I don't think we can really... I think this guy feels far above our pay grade.
Yeah.
I think the ultimate goal is to get Daymond and get the fuck out. So
Can we see Daymond from where we are?
I know where Daymond is, and he's right.
Daymond is
there,
right.
Oh, he's there. And I have another guard guarding this thing.
Yes, there's one right down the ladder from you guys.
Okay, I'm gonna try. We're gonna see. We're gonna see.
People can we see right now?
Right now, with your naked eye, Murray is able to communicate everyone's positionality based on tremor sense. A line of sight, just the guard down from you.
Okay, I have to wait then.
So I'm gonna kind of get down if I can. I don't need to see everything, I just need to see a little bit. Can I, with my mage hand, it looks like there's some little tools or something on this little table or whatever I can use. Kind of coming from the direction of Zagi. It looks like there's a little dagger, or even if it's a fucking rock. I know the map's always just an approximation. Can I take my mage hand and take that dagger and fling it at Laumi as if Zagi is attacking him?
Sick.
Okay. Through your tremor sense.
Damn.
Through your tremor sense, I will allow this. What we are going to do here is we are going to use your proficiency in Arcana, but because this is an act of deception, I'm going to ask that we make I'll allow you actually, dealer's choice.
Okay.
You can make a Charisma Arcana check or an Intelligence Deception check, because it's a combination of your spellcasting ability and you doing this persuasively to make it truly seem like Zagi has thrown this knife.
So adding my int modifier
to your deception
with
skill,
deception,
or your charisma modifier to your Arcana.
Ooh.
They're hilariously, they're kind of close with the modifiers, but I will try. I've got a little bit more of an advantage with charisma and arcana.
Cool. So do you have expertise in Arcana or just proficiency? I believe it's just proficiency, right?
Expertise is when it's...
You double your proficiency, or when it's a double circle.
The double circle, I have expertise.
Great, so you'll be adding your charisma modifier +4 to this roll.
+4, because I have an 8 in Arcana. A +8 in Arcana.
Yes, because you're adding your intelligence normally. This will be your charisma, so it's a little bit worse, right? Because if you're doing something that's a little tricky here, it's not pure arcane.
I see what you're saying.
Right?
I
so
see
this
what
will
you're
be,
saying. So
you'll
it'd
add a
be
+7 to
4
this.
+7, and then the other would be
what do you have in deception?
Deception would be +1 plus my int, which is also +7. So it's all the same. Okay.
And you have Bardic Inspiration.
And I have a Bardic Inspiration. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Let's do this
those
one.
dice.
So plus this +7, and I can choose to do this post roll.
Yes.
I'm trying to make sure 2024 who it is.
Creature gains when the creature fails, you can roll and add it. Yes, if you fail.
So when you learn the result.
I keep forgetting that we've updated spells.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add it. Add it. Okay. Okay. 15 total.
15 total.
Ooh. Thank you.
We are going to roll in front of the board the insight check. The insight check of Laumi.
Sludge innards monster.
Insight check from a sludge monster.
Might be high.
On a 13 or higher.
Oh gosh.
On a 13 or higher.
Oh boy.
This will not necessarily give away your location or anything, but it will just be seen as like that flew off the table for no reason, right? So you're looking for a 12 or lower on this die.
Killer idea.
That is a 4. Allow me, as Murray, describe this spell. What do your companions see of you up at the top of this like hole, this like ladder hole shooting down into the darkness?
Okay, so I think they would see, because I'm kind of trying to get advantage. So Marie, she's a dwarf. She's already a little, but she's kind of like doing one of these. And she kind of starts like tracing her fingers in the very back of her pants. Something that I don't think anyone has seen yet. But she has a couple of daggers tucked behind her cloak. And she's kind of almost like in her head tracing the weight, the feeling, as if she were the one throwing this dagger. Something that she's maybe done on a weekend or two after a few beers with Azune, and he's taught her a few pointers. So as she kind of traces the outline of the dagger, you see it's almost as if she draws it herself, and then she just obviously is grabbing it and flings it, pantomiming as if she was the one doing it.
All of you above the station looking down the hole, as Murray moves her hand, all of you hear a whistle in the air as though a dagger just left Murray's hand. Below, you hear, "You forget yourself!" And
by the way, that was the most Appalachia wizard shit I ever saw.
Bro, throw a knife at him.
You want to have a few beers and throw knives? Got some moonshine my cousin Harold just made.
Okay. We are going to roll now for the leader of the Crow Keepers. Sees this nonsense happen and holds up her hands and goes, "Allow me! I don't know what that was. I didn't." And begins to back away. She's going to make a persuasion check with disadvantage here in this moment. Hold on a second. That is an 8 on the die. She spends her action backing up and going, "Allow me, listen, I don't know what that was." He goes, "What I cannot buy, I will merely take for myself." And That is the, you hear the captain draw a weapon. You hear Zagi draw a weapon. We are going to go, Azune, that is your turn.
Oh my gosh.
Remember, we got a guard directly below us.
We do. I can't jump in there. I'm gonna stay up here and hope this escalates. What are all the sources of fire? I see that there's torches on those pillars.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is there anything on the ground?
Oh, there are torches on the pillars. Yes, that's casting light. In terms of other sources of light, other than the torches, no. There's a dim, sputtering light in here. But you know, like, I think you would actually know that will give people disadvantage on perception checks. Like, dim light is not, it's easier to sneak around in this quality of light, for sure.
Okay. Okay.
But I will say, at the top of our round, too, let me roll a d4. Please go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
Okay. How about right here in front of everybody? 12.
12. Okay, great. This is our top of the round luck check to see if our other companions give up.
Okay. I'll seeing that, I'll turn to you. I hope you have a plan for that buddy down below. I'm gonna cast Control Flames on the torch that's closest to the one that's below us.
Oh, we're going there, are we?
I'm going to dim it. Okay, it's one of the things that I can do. So now the bright light that I cast is halved, obscuring things around it hopefully a little bit better.
Great.
And that's what I'll do.
Great.
Oh, yes, that'll be my turn.
Incredible. The light flickers. As it does, I think that you sense that act of magic in the escalating tension of what's happening downstairs. Everyone has seen weird magic shit happening in this room before, and it's possible that no one attributes that to each of the like sides of this negotiation. May be attributing that to the other side in this moment. Azune, that's your turn. Bolaire, that is your turn.
I suppose it's time to do some damage. Whoever I'm going to do a thing that will leave them.
Get the guard right below us.
That's who I'm going to do damage to, and I think as long as they're line of sight, I don't have to go anywhere. And I don't think this spell will be visible. I'm going to be using. I'm going to try using Mind Sliver.
Hell yeah!
Which I don't think it will be a visible thing. It's psychic damage.
Yeah.
So the other thing, just to put in mind, is that they will have a negative D4 in their next saving throw.
Okay.
That's an intelligence save of 14. So I very.
That is a failed save.
So, let's see, where's my, there we are. I'm gonna use this one. I should get the weird ones out.
Yes.
Very gently, as I'm looking down, I reach into my mouth and I pull out a long sliver of glass, like a splinter. And then I crack it, and you can almost see one go in one ear, out the other, and snap in their head.
Hell yeah.
That is... 6 points of psychic damage?
Hell yes. Person down there, as the lights dim, screams. Go ahead, if you would, give me a deception check with advantage.
Happily.
Yeah, maybe he is a sewer monster.
Shit's going weird, man. Oh, thank God there's advantage. That would have been real bad. That's 17.
Seeing the scream from over there, you hear Zagi say, "Kill him!" pointing to Laumi.
And I back out. Next.
Great. Bolaire, after your turn, the other Crow Keepers are going to rush Laumi. Sprinting forward up the ladder right here. This one running from over here.
Yes.
Rushing over. These thieves rush over to this monstrosity and are going to take their swings. That amazingly is okay. One of them does manage to hit, and that's going to be.
I may not have to use Bane. This is going.
I think I'm just gonna eat some popcorn.
If we can get them and go.
I know.
It's
gonna be hard to do.
Find out. Now that this changes things, I'm gonna look at some shit.
Swiping at this monstrosity with their blades, you see one of them does connect into the filth, and you hear a sickening wet snap of a tendon within this monstrosity as one of them manages to score a hit and a sneak attack on the monstrosity. The monstrosity is going to go. The monstrosity is going to allow me. It's going to roll again.
Okay.
A 6. You see, he sucks up a bunch of spores and filth into himself and is going to reach out. He reaches out to this one in front of him and thunders a wet, slimy arm that is composed of writhing tendrils into the open mouth of that thief, whose skull cavity fills with rot and blasts out of his eyes.
Wow.
With the pressure of bacterial putrescence, falls off to the ground dead. That is going to be Hal's turn.
Oh, man.
You saw dude's face explode. You're up.
Right.
Sorry, 1 second. Also, the one back here who scored that sneak attack hit on this monstrosity gets his wrist too close to the body, and the tendrils wrap around and begin to pull him into the back of the creature behind him.
What?
Guys, if you have black mold in your house,
oh man,
it's important to maintain that.
Air purifier.
Look what can happen.
It gets so bad, gang. Hal, that is your turn, my friend.
Okay, so I think in this moment where insanity is erupting down there, how old does Daymond look to the eye?
Daymond is about, what, 20? He's a grad student. He'd be like 22.
Yeah.
The chaos of the last 20 or 30 seconds are bringing Hal back to running through war when he was barely more than a boy himself, blade in hand, seeing people skewered, decapitated, stabbed, dying around him, and this is just a kid, just like so many men and women he saw fall when he was a young man, and he knows that that is somebody's son, and he just starts to descend the ladder.
Awesome. You descend the ladder. You can use your movement to get to the bottom here. Okay. It is dim light, but that doesn't make you invisible.
Right.
So you'll need a stealth check here to attempt to, and that'll be an action unless you have cunning action to do it as a bonus action. So stealth would be an action here.
Let's say instead that I will use my second and last adrenaline rush.
Okay, cool.
To bonus action. Dash down.
Cool.
Down.
Love it.
So now I can use my action for the stealth attempt here.
Absolutely. And you have your movement left as well.
And that will leave me with movement after this.
Yep.
That's not terrible. It's a 15.
15. On a 15, on a 15, you cannot be certain in the chaos happening down here if you have been spotted or not.
Right.
But no one reacts to your appearance here in the chamber.
And I know that we are on borrowed time here, so I don't stop, and I use my movement to creep up to the side of those crates and get to where I can lay a hand on Daymond's ankle.
Yes.
Or wrist to check for a pulse, and that's for the end of my time.
Great. Bonus action down, cross, action to stealth. I'll allow you to make a free medicine check as you get to the bottom here.
That is a 22.
Reaching down, Daymond is stable at 0. On a 22, you know exactly what his condition is.
So he's fucked up.
Oh, he's unconscious.
He is shallow breathing is he's unconscious.
Yeah. He's not making death saves.
He's not making death saves. He is stable, but you look at this poor young man. He's been beaten to hell.
Okay, that's good to know. That changes things.
Yeah, that makes things. That makes things difficult.
Okay.
Hal, that is your turn.
Feeling like Bilbo Baggins next to the dragon.
Unbelievable. Murray, that's going to be you.
Okay, this new information. Okay, question. What I was going to ask was, do we see if Daymond is he like hands tied or feet tied?
Yes, manacled. Manacled, but because he's unconscious, he's not tied up. He's not like tied around a post or anything.
And I will say, at the end of Hal's all of that happening, he whips his head back to you guys at this, at the hole in the ceiling, and gives a very worried but brisk nod to try to indicate that he's alive.
I think some of this is going to be holding until they notice.
100%.
So make sure there's room.
Okay. So manacled, chains on both hands and feet?
You see, give me a perception check.
Okay. Bad. Very bad. 4.
Without being down there to get a better look, you just know that you can see the manacles on his hands. He might have them on his feet. He might have other bindings or anything else like that. The arcane marshals have manacles that separate your fingers. They have gags that go in your mouth and hold your tongue still. They have ways of dealing with arcane casters. The Crow Keepers have a much older model of handling arcanists, which is to beat them into unconsciousness.
Sure.
It's classic.
It is. Okay, I don't think it makes sense for me to jump down there in the fray. I am going to hold my action. I have to declare which spell I want to hold, don't I?
Yeah.
I am going to hold...
Yes, wizard, yes. Yes, wizard, yes.
I'm going to hold a chromatic orb in case I need to sling a spell and give Hal backup, but at this point in time, I'm going to stay the fuck out of the way and just watch and wait.
Hell yeah.
Got your back.
Hell yeah.
You should also, I'm going to bane, so you can go right after me for that. We'll do a double whammy.
Okay.
We'll do a double whammy.
I'm only going to sling it if I forget.
Some things never change.
Were you born in darkness? Fuck. This is great.
I love traits and minis and combat.
Minis in combat. Seeing one of her Crow Keepers being sucked into this body, the other one literally having the inner flesh of his skull putrefied so much that it blasts out of the orifices of his head, Zagi effortlessly leaps to the table, leaps to the catwalk, and lays into Laumi here with a scimitar, scoring 2 hits across the shoulders in front of you all, and partially obscuring you, Hal, who she clearly does not see in this moment. That is her turn, which brings us back to the top with Azune.
Does that person exist?
This little guy right here? Yes, he's jumped up here in the mix as well.
Oh boy. Okay.
Do you want to hold turn as well?
I'm holding. Yeah. If I'm holding my action to cast a spell, I'm just trying to remember this rule. It's only the action. If I'm holding my turn, I don't get a full action and bonus action.
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
Or if you're holding your turn, you can just delay in initiative if you want to hold on to the whole action and bonus action.
Yes, I would like to do that.
Okay.
To the end of this, like to go kind of in tandem with the two.
I think the difference is holding initiative means that you have to decide, like somebody will get a turn before you can do anything.
Yeah, I will allow you to delay just because there's no real advantage to just not going, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to just send your turn down the initiative order, the only thing I will say is when you want to go again, you go after whoever is going.
This is now my new order moving forward.
You fully send your initiative down, and when you want to go again, you can't interrupt someone else's turn.
Great.
Right?
I'm going to go after Bolaire.
All right.
Okay. Bolaire, your turn.
I'm going to figure out the best. I'm gonna get on, not even hands and knees. I'm gonna get on, just almost ready to pounce, and I'm gonna get low, and I'm gonna find the best angle where I can see the three most irritating people in this group.
Great. You'll have to scoot down where the ceiling opens up around the ladder. So you will be visible. You'll have to make a stealth check, and you'll have to use an action to make that stealth check.
Oh, that'll blow my spell.
Potentially will blow your spell, unless you have cunning action or something like that would allow you to make.
Do
it
not.
Yeah.
Let's say. So you can see you're holding a spell right now.
I'm holding a spell, but I'm just basically crouched. I can't see the whole room.
In that case, I'm going to hold my turn. I'm going to push turn 2 because that way I can get movement and the spell.
Yeah.
Cool.
Are we all just kind of holding?
I'm actually holding
Hal?
after Hal. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Basically.
I'm just going to hold until something happens.
All of you are sending your turn down in initiative. That is going to be another 7. That's going to be another 11. One of these rogues strikes out, hits Laumi again. Laumi is not bloodied, but has taken a lot of hits and is going to allow everybody to get a swipe on him as he moves back over here. It's going to retreat. Everyone's getting an attack of opportunity. All of our crow keepers miss. Perhaps Zagi will be more lucky. Zagi exactly hits, dealing another mighty blow. And you can see Hal. You guys cannot see this, but I think Tremor sense. So Murray and Hal can both sense now. That's going to be Laumi moves into bloodied status. I think Hal and Lami's taken a tremendous amount of damage, but moves into bloodied. Looks out at Zagi and goes, "You came into the dark. I have waited for time immemorial. Let's end your short, sweet summer life." And is going to throw that same filth bomb up. We're going to center it here, which, Jesus Christ, misses Demidus's head by inches. Boom. Okay.
This is so insane.
Even if they save for half, all of these rogues are destroyed.
Wow.
And Zagi needs to make a Constitution saving throw, on which she crits.
All the other crow keepers are going to come back and be like,
"What happened?
The fuck?
The fuck happened here?"
Oh boy. Okay.
However, Zagi takes a still hefty amount of damage. As she sort of leaps out of the way of this blast of sludge that begins to melt the wood around her. Hal, that is going to be your turn.
Okay. I am going to lift this young man up over my shoulder, fireman carry.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to quietly make my way to the base of the ladder.
Okay. I'm going to need a stealth check with disadvantage.
Okay. One's a natural 20.
Nice.
The other one is good. 17.
17.
Okay. Hey!
Demidus is not large. He's a small gnome. He goes up in your hands pretty quick. Incredible. You have your movement and bonus action.
Does he slow movement at all?
No, he does not. He does not go past your incumbents.
Okay, so that was my action was to lift him.
And stealth.
All right, so then I creep back to the base of the stairs. Maybe I can even get one or 2 feet up the ladder.
Yes.
And bonus action, I will quietly whisper into this kid's ear, Time to go, kid. And that reverberates through his sleeping mind, and I will cast its bonus action, Healing Word.
Hey! Hell yes.
Oh.
Good idea.
Six hit points.
6 hit points for our friend.
Yeah.
He's at full.
I'm worried that
Yeah, pretty much.
anybody hits this kid or throws goop at us, he's dead.
Yep.
Dead.
Hit points of a kitten.
Okay.
This one.
Doesn't freak out.
Yeah.
You see in this moment, Demidus, now that you actually gone and picked him up, Demidus has gotten beat to hell by these rogues. His shirt's in tatters. You see he's got like a sort of flop of hair, big swollen black eye. He comes to, he's got his little sort of like pentaveral vest that has some like badges and other sort of school pride things on it. He's got a chest binder that has like a deep rich blue with like wizard stars over it that wraps around his chest. And he looks up and goes, I'm dead. No. Oh, I'm almost dead. And he is going to cast Mage Armor on you. Cast Mage Armor on you. Your AC becomes 13 plus Dex mod.
Okay.
And I think you begin to ascend up the ladder at this point. I'm going to roll one quick stealth check for Demidus to cast this spell unseen. Demidus has a +2 to stealth, rolling in front of the board. That's a natural 1.
Yeah, child.
As he looks and goes, I'm almost dead. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. And his mage armor goes, and fireworks shoot, and you are covered in gleaming, beautiful armor that shines with starlight, because this kid only knows how to do things loud.
Oh my god.
Al has just enough time to turn towards the fray and go, and that's it.
Oh my god. Wait, that wasn't like a wild magic roll. It's just to see if
it's just Devin's style.
He just sucks.
He just is bad. He's just
shit's bad.
He's an illusionist.
He's an illusionist. His mage armor is made. People pay a lot for mage armor that looks this good. Okay.
Oh boy. Okay.
And he says, and whips around. Murray, that is your turn. You see Hal's like 4 feet up the ladder, like literally like clinging to the wall, turning around with Demidus in his arm as Demidus swirls around, blood coming out of his nose, and goes, "Hi!" As looking around as Laumi and Zagi both turn around to see that the daring escape has happened.
Okay.
Murray, it's your turn.
Okay, so I know I just look at Demidus and just kind of shake my head. You nitwit. I'm going to... Who do I slam? I'm gonna slam...
Does this require a save on their end? Or is this just an attack?
The chromatic orb that I was holding is just an attack.
Okay. Oh,
you held and lost the action that round, right? It just went all the way.
I lost it. Okay, so I don't have to do chromatic orb if I don't want to.
And you guys are sending your initiative down the line, so you guys can go right after Murray if you want to go after Murray.
Okay.
Right? But if you're looking like down the hatch, here we go, then you may do that.
No,
Because we can double up then, because we can, if we're holding ours, then we can just...
Yeah. You guys could basically all act at once, right? Yeah.
The main goal is to get the fuck out of here. I am going to...
Too far away for me to do that.
I'm going to turn to Azune and be like,
hold my feet. And I'm going to go down and grab Daymond.
Cool.
And try and lift him up the ladder the rest of the way.
Go ahead and just give me athletics. We'll call it, he's a very small guy. Give me DC 10 athletics.
Little guy.
And I'm just a wizard, but here we go. Don't fuck this up. That's good enough. 13.
13. Whoop, down the hole. Whew, you grab this kid and yoink him back up out of the hole. Daymond is up on the upper level with you. Bam.
Fantastic. That was my action.
Yes.
Am I able to kind of grab him and start moving in a direction that resembles out of here?
Yes, you can grab him and start moving in a direction that resembles out of here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Even if it's 10 feet, just want to start getting him out.
Hell yeah. Awesome. That is going to be Azune and Bolaire. I will remind Azune and Bolaire. Oh, sorry, no. It's going to be Zagi. Zagi is going to.
I would. Can I?
Oh no! Yes,
Yeah,
you guys
I
go
wanna get in.
before
I want to get in
Zagi
before
does.
Zagi.
Yes.
This will be fun.
They've all turned their heads towards us, right? Like,
Yeah.
we've been
So
fine.
I'm gonna hop down just far enough to cast command because command's so great, and I got another one. This is my.
Is this your last one?
No, this is what I do.
Okay.
Thankfully, and I'm just going to say, what am I going to? I'm just going to tell him to drop it. And next turn, apparently he has to drop whatever he's holding. Then it ends his turn.
This is to Zagi?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I'm running right back up with a little, and
Okay.
I'm back up.
All right, great. Mask pops down, drop, bam. And that is to Zagi, correct?
Yes.
So this is a wisdom saving throw.
14.
14.
And then you're up.
Great.
Zagi fails the save.
So on his turn, he will be dropping anything in his hands and going, what the fuck just happened?
Okay, amazing.
And
Zagi's a compliment.
Zagi's a woman, yes.
She, her.
So she will drop
You
her
are
weapon.
It is dark out here.
Cool.
Azune, at the top of your turn, please roll that d20 for me about the other crowkeepers.
Oh my lord.
That's a one. There they come.
That's a one.
Murray, as you begin to rush down the hallway up here, you hear footsteps coming in your direction going, they're this way!
I just look at the others and go,
Dang.
time to go. Yeah. Damn. Hey, we're in a tight spot.
Dang, we're in a tight spot.
Damn, that movie's worth a rewatch again. It's been a minute. Yeah, well, let's.
Azune,
I
that's
just tell
you.
everybody, time to go.
Time to go. No time for that.
No. It might just be don't do anything this round.
Here's also
Might just be run.
Hopefully the guards get back, see carnage, and immediately start attacking the sludge monster.
Right.
Yeah.
Did we hear them coming from where we are? Like, if we run that way, did we hear guards there?
So here's the thing. On a nat 1, I have to fuck you guys.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So they are coming from the only direction that you know to make your way back. The hallway does go a different direction, deeper into the dark where you don't know.
We saw.
Get out the way we first entered. We run
We're gonna run
towards
into some
their
guards.
voices.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And let's run into less. I am putting all this together. As soon as you give me that directive, Azune shifts. He kind of gets his center of gravity gets a little bit lower into the ground, and I whip into the direction where I think those guards are. And bonus action, I'm activating innate sorcery. The ground around me starts to spiral around me like a mini vortex. There's sparks gathering, little small bits of fire gathering around me as my eyes start to glow. The water part of my iris, the blue part of my iris, starts to look liquid. The sunset part starts to emanate light, and I'm rushing towards where those guards are. The first one I see,
Hell yeah.
I will do stuff to.
Look at this.
You are able to rush forward to this other passage. I'm going to elevate this one ever so slightly.
Making it up on the fly.
This is what we do.
Here we go. This is what we do here.
This is what we're doing. I love it. Okay, here we go.
Circus must go on.
The circus must go on. Okay. Okay. So, rushing into this other chamber, Azune. I love it. Here we go. Nice and precarious. This is what we like to see. Bada boom. Yep, there we go. Okay, Azune, rushing forward into this chamber. Boom. You behold the other 4 crow keepers rushing in towards, following up this passageway here. Your guess is they doubled back when one of them noticed that their companion was not with them, right? So you rush into this room. They are before you. You use innate sorcery. It is your turn.
Okay. I look upon them, and there's just something about the scum of these crow keepers that reminds me of that first mercenary group that I was with.
Yeah.
And I know that we've tangoed with them before. Yeah. I'm going for that one, not the one that's closest, actually, the one that is to my left, where the tongue is showing. Yeah. I'm moving into that one, and I have my warhammer.
Hell yeah.
And that like the sparks and the fire that's gathering around me, it gets absorbed into my warhammer as I cast Booming Blade on him. Pop!
Yeah!
Hell yeah, go for it. Give me your attack roll.
And it's at advantage with innate sorcery.
So, bada.
Holy crap. It's not a great roll. It is a 10 to hit.
10 is a miss.
Oh,
Swing pass. That is a miss. Innate sorcery is your bonus action.
And I'm positioned right next to them, so those 2 are adjacent to me.
Okay.
That's okay.
Bolaire and Azune have both acted in this moment. Zagi drops the weapon, drops to the ground, looking at you, Hal. Frozen there to the wall as Davinos is yoinked out of your hands. She stares at you, dropping her weapon in the sludge, the bones of her guild members around her as this thing in the dark calls filth to itself, sort of raising up higher and higher, becoming 8, 9, 10 feet tall. She looks at you frozen with Bolaire's command and goes, Middler. Playwright? And looks down to the sword on your belt and goes, You picked up his sword? Well, you'll die like he did. And that is the end of her turn. Top of the round, having sent your initiatives down, it is going to be Crow Keepers. Azune, you're in the one situation that in the Brethren Hall they tell you never to get in, which is surrounded by rogues.
It's okay.
No.
That is okay.
No. Is it though?
I'll say, by the way, this doorway is right at the edge of this block here, so you guys are like 30 feet from the madness, right?
Like around a corner, I'm guessing?
No, like literally directly, like they're on top of you. Azune, your armor class is 20, correct? They are getting advantage because they're flanking, so that's going to be a hit with sneak attack. No. I'm incorrect. They only have a +3 to hit, so a 16 does not hit with advantage. That is a miss, but when they hit, it will be with sneak attack.
Okay. I'll need to know if they hit because I have something.
I hate it.
That is a hit on a natural 19 on the die.
Reaction, I cast shield.
Your armor is 25?
My armor is 25 now. And it almost looks like a figure steps in front of me and just crosses its arms and becomes almost like a spectral barricade for me.
I think Murray and Bolaire look through and see Azune, who is ever, like seeing Shamad and these other arcane marshals.
Yeah.
Azune, you're like friend who speaks with a voice of like understanding and knowing this city and loving this city has transformed into a beautiful nightmare in the room beyond you. These guys don't know they're in a game of D&D, but on an intuitive level, they know what it means to miss on a 19. Meaning like, to hit this guy, it takes a fucking miracle, right? I can only hit on a crit.
My god.
Their attack bonus is not high enough for a 25 armor class to be anything other than the Stuff of Legends, right? So
I've been waiting for this moment.
Just clang, 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 hitting the armor, boom, shield up, warhammer up. They all take swings with advantage and have nothing to write home about. Incredible. And that is going to be Graugranath. We're going to roll this d6.
Oh, no.
Not one.
That's a 2. That is a 2, which means...
Yes.
That Laumi, our Raugranath, which is the name of the type of being they are, is going to, Laumi goes 5, 10, 15, 20. And looking at you, Hal, but not wanting to waste an action of like double moving. Laumi, again, moving by spilling these writhing putrid innards from out of a torso, moves up. Laumi cannot move, and you see that all Laumi does is not even raise his hands, but just moves into Zagi's square, that his body envelops her, and you watch sludge-covered bones fall out of his body as Zagi's remains just clatter to the ground. As Laumi looks at you, Hal, and goes, "First time in the sewers."
Oh shit, Hal.
His guts just go.
That's Laumi's turn. Hal, that's your turn.
So Zagi's off the map.
Off the map. Two hits at average damage clears.
I allow Hal 2 seconds just to gape stupidly at what he's just seen, and then he will pull up some reserve of strength he didn't know he had, and he shouts in a very loud voice, "Deal with darkness, die by it!" And his voice echoes through the entire chamber here, and that is the casting of the second level spell Shatter, which I will aim for not actually, it's got a 10-foot radius, so I focus it on the wooden platform that Raumi is standing on, so both Raumi and the platform are going to get thunder damage.
Hell yes.
Hal's magic is all smoke and mirrors trickery.
Except for this.
Except for the things that aren't.
That's a good one.
What was it from last game?
Go ahead, roll damage, and I believe it does double damage against
those kinds of structures.
Crystalline. It's crystalline.
A construct has disadvantage on the save.
Okay.
Loud noise erupts from the point of your choice within range. Each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere centered there makes a Constitution save. 3d8 thunder damage on a failed save, half as much on a successful.
Okay, go ahead and roll 3d8. I'm going to make the con save for Laumi. That is a failure for the con save for Laumi here.
A single one, but the other ones were high, so that is 16 points of damage.
16 points of damage. Okay. I want you, Hal, to also give me either give me Arcana or Investigation in this moment. I'll call this a DC 20.
Okay, I'll make it Arcana.
Cool.
Even though they're the same.
Mm-hmm.
DC 20.
DC 20.
Not enough. 17.
17. The shatter spell goes off. The wooden bridge collapses, falling away into sludge and nothingness. As Laumi falls as well. And you hear a collapse. It also, because it's a sphere, it hits the stones above it hits the stones below it. This is let's be very clear, dangerous spell to cast in a honeycomb of interconnected waterways.
Like that.
And Laumi, as your voice carries out, booming throughout this space, announcing yourself as a spellcaster for the first time in the darkness here.
And with my movement, I'll say, that's all, folks, and I will scurry up
and
the
you
ladder.
scramble up the ladder to join Murray and Bolaire up here. Incredible. Hal, that's your turn. Demidus. What is Demidus going to do? You see.
That doesn't look good.
My situation?
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Murray, you can handle
Okay.
it, right?
I'm all right.
I think Azune can handle it just fine.
All right.
That's real bad. That's real bad.
Is it? You're okay? Are you sure? Okay.
I mean, you can. People are welcome to help.
No, I've got another plan.
If you got other stuff,
I got this guy.
That is
Yeah.
four,
I can really-
presumably rogues.
Yeah.
All at advantage.
Yep. That's
I'm okay. For 2 more rounds.
okay.
Demidus looks at you, Murray, and goes, or looks at Hal jumping through, he goes, Professor Magnesson! Oh, you showed up! Oh, Bolaire, you showed up!
Shut up.
Oh, sorry. I don't know who you are. And you see that Davinos goes, monster or these guys, and starts to summon some magic into his fingers.
Those guys, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Azune, as these rogues surround you, looking at their inability to harm you in any meaningful way, you gleam with light, and you see Demidus looks over and goes, wow, beautiful. And behind you, you see a 12-foot tall knight made of light erupts and says, Brother, I have arrived to aid you. I am also a handsome knight and 100% real.
Oh my goodness.
I just look at Davinos and go, we're gonna have to talk about reading the room.
I'm helping.
Stop helping. Don't help.
And Murray, that is your turn.
Acting is about doing less.
Don't show your work.
You say doing less, and he goes, got it, and a bunch of magical bottle rockets fire out him in all directions.
Well, he's so much fun under every other circumstance but this.
This right now.
Just for flavor, I do up my own minor illusion, and I go like, flashing red light, your time's up, and I want to get like a cane with the fork at the end, and I want to yoink him, as if you hear the Oscar music playing him off stage.
With the hook, he goes, dig deep, folks, and then, Murray, that is your turn.
Can I just literally grab him by the collar, scoop him up under my own arm, and we just keep heading out?
Are you heading out into the room that is the way out with Azune, or are you heading deeper into unknown darkness?
I think it's...
I'm busy. And I'm looking...
Have you been taking any damage? Are you hurt?
Okay. They didn't touch me.
Okay.
I think in this instance, it's almost better to go to where Azune is and go past and go the way that we know.
Okay.
Go the most direct route. I don't want to go down hit a dead end.
So you're gonna grab Demidus. You're gonna go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 30. If you move this way, this guy's gonna get an attack of opportunity on you.
Shit.
Right? There's like crowded room in the sewers for you trying to get out through your exit here.
Just give me 1 second.
Is that my move and my action? Considering I'm
You have an
carrying
action.
him?
If you want to use an
I
action,
do
you can.
still have an action. Okay. You. Ugh. Fuck it. Shit. Balls. Okay. I am going to. Man, he's surrounded.
Yeah. That nat one was rough, but looking out here, you can see if you attempt to run around. Like, I think your options as such right now are they're going to get some swings on you if you try to run around them and hope that they stay pinned on Azune.
Yeah.
You can using your action, like at a certain, like you can also use your action to fight them or to try to blow your way past them, which might also help get Azune out of here sooner at the cost of you. It's basically your weighing is the ultimate priority, beating feet even if they get swings on me, versus are we fucked and need to fight our way out.
How's your constitution?
Pretty good.
All right. We're gonna do a little color spray. Let's do a little color spray.
Hell yeah.
You best better save, bitch.
I hope so.
It's a 15-foot cone.
Great.
Let me see if I could see, and then I'll see which way, if I'm gonna try and hit all of them with Azune or if I pick a lane.
Great.
Color spray.
15-foot cone right here.
Love that.
15-foot cone. I think 15-foot cone, you can get these 3 right here in one cone with that and hit Azune. Or potentially, if you wanted to avoid Azune entirely, you could sidestep and just get 2 of them in a line.
Just the 2? Not hit you, probably? Because if you're feeling good, let's do that. Let's sidestep. I'm gonna try and position myself to only get those 2.
Hell yeah.
So it's a Constitution saving throw. Because also, if you fail, I don't want you to be blinded. That would be real bad.
Oh yeah, that would suck.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
2 fails.
Wow.
Okay. So, yeah.
What does your color spray look like, and what effect does it have on them?
This is gonna be so stupid. Can I do it? This is gonna be dumb. Okay, so yeah, according to must succeed on consumer or blinded condition until the end of your next turn. So can I, because I'm holding Davinos, like a sack of potatoes, and he's the illusion guy, can I take him and his glittery magic that's already swirling around him and use him like a shotgun?
Like holding up a skunk and just being like.
And I'm gonna take it and just whatever sparkly
just
magic.
waft it.
Yeah, he already has going on because it's an illusion spell. I'm gonna take what he has and just amplify it into their face.
You reach into one of his pockets in his shirt. There's a bunch of broken spell components from when he was getting beat up. You just grab a thing and a bunch
full of glitter.
Both crow keepers reel back blinded as glitter just dances over their face, and you can see almost like their faces become like mirror glass of iridescent light creeping into their eyes as they are blinded. That is your turn.
That's my turn.
Hell yes.
So they're both blinded.
That is going to be Azune and Bolaire. Bolaire and Hal are still standing over the hole covering, hearing the growling hiss of the entity down below. And Hal, and then Azune, you are in the room now with Murray and Davinos.
Would you like to go first this time, or do you want me to?
I just want to have a little fun.
Have all the fun.
I'm going to pop down the ladder just a bit. Mm-hmm. Just saying. Actually, and out of curiosity, how well built is this ladder?
Quite well built.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's sturdy.
Let's go.
Good to know. And I'm going to cast on our little mud friend over here. I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers.
Hell yes. What is the save on Dissonant Whispers?
It's a 14 Wisdom.
That is a failure.
Okay, so I crawl down just a bit and look directly at this creature. Eyes lock. And it almost seems like the mask itself becomes concave and reflective, and there's this twisted version of its own face that's suddenly looking at it. Mm-hmm. And it hears a quiet roll in its head. Creature of refuse and filth. How else would you find your face than to be buried in the sewers forever where you belong? And let's do some damage. That's...
Come on.
10, 11, 12. That's 12 points of psychic damage. And he has to run away from me. He must immediately use its reaction, if available, to move as far away from me as it can on a successful.
Oh, yeah. I am going to ask you for an intimidation check. And I'm going to ask for an intimidation check in this moment, if it'd be so kind.
Yeah, no problem. Natural 20. So that gives me, just for fun, a 26. This is what I was born for. Being mean and correct.
Now that none of your friends can see you, you decide to prove that this guy's not the freakiest thing in this dark pit. And moving down the ladder, you not only move Laumi to a quarter of his hit point total, but with that reaction being banished to flee, Laumi looks and goes, I am sorry. Boom! And zooms in as the water seeps through the cracks of Hal's shatter spell in the floor, he flushes himself down into a deeper darkness, vanishing at the horror of your dissonant whispers. Laumi exits combat in this moment, and we will come back after the break. Fuck you!
Every story, it deserves to be worn. Thorum rings aren't just jewelry. They're a testament to the journey that got you here. Made from materials like meteorite, dinosaur bone, and whiskey barrel, every ring we craft has a past as unique as yours. Because your hands have built things, held loved ones, fixed what was broken, and reached for dreams. Your story isn't mass-produced, and neither are our rings. They're designed to match the calluses on your hands, the grit in your soul, and the promises you've kept. Every ring started as something else, a meteor that spent billions of years in space, a whiskey barrel that held countless stories, or even a rifle that protected freedom. Now, they become part of your story, backed by a lifetime warranty. Because your promise should last forever. Wear your story. Thorum.
This is the first time I've seen a post fairy. How much do you think it'd sell for? And the last collapsed over there is Somnia, one of our delivery personnel. Nice! Wonder if there's anything good here. Nice! I hope nothing happens. Time to fight. I really can't do this! Honestly, such a hassle.
Here we go! This might just work, huh?
What was that?
This is Mother Goose to her flock. Acknowledge.
I'm in.
Roger Dodger, I gotcha.
Present.
Online. Excellent work, Critical Warriors. Marisha, what's your 20?
I'm undercover in Peachtown.
Atlanta.
Whatever. All right, accessing live show plans now.
It's imperative we gather full intel on our upcoming 2026 live shows. Liam, are you in position?
On station in Berlin. Man, this air duct is a real tight fit.
Carry on, operative. Taliesin, where are you?
I am still at the airport. No one has told me where I'm supposed to go.
Excellent. Matt, sit rep.
Currently in the catacombs under Edinburgh Castle. Legends tell of live show details hidden somewhere within.
Ashley, give me your grid.
I'm in London and I fooled everyone with my British accent, governor, slicing in now.
Sam, where are you?
Oh, I'm right here. Yeah, I was just gonna go get some food. You want anything? Okay.
Laura?
Getting into position now.
Are you in Dallas-Fort Worth?
I may have overthought this.
I must be getting close.
All right, I'm in. Transmitting Atlanta live show information now. Bell's Hells will be back, playing Daggerheart as they delve underseas to combat a growing evil in the Maelstrom Kingdom.
Our Berlin show, aka Project Funball, will follow the Mighty Nine as they explore the folding halls of Halas to save a corrupted Caleb Widogast.
Still at the airport.
Critters in Edinburgh can look forward to Darktoe, where the Mighty Nine must contend with the Plank King and help Kingsley reclaim the throne. Ha!
Our London show follows Vox Machina as they head to Ruidus to protect a kidnapped godchild in Red Moon Requiem.
I got ribs!
We finish off the year in Dallas-Fort Worth, where Grog reunites with Vox Machina amid all the wild changes sweeping Exandria in Grog's holiday adventure.
Copy that. I better start prepping.
Oh, you better.
I'm stuck.
Life shows!
Critters, it's Laura Bailey here to show you what we've got in the Critical Role shop.
Oh, this is fine. I deserve nice things.
Why not pick this up? It looked great on you. You see all the little details? So great. Make a hell of a fashion statement with this baby right here.
Oh, that's a perfect gift.
You can never have too many dice. Take it from me.
I would like to buy!
It's small, practical, and perfect. Just like me.
You know what we say. Take a chance, roll the dice. Need more dice? These are nice. All these cool things and so much more. Check it all out at the Critical Role shop.
Lots of weird kids.
Letters.
Liam said whacking it. Folks, we are back. Woo! We are back here in the sewers underneath Caravan Hill in the city of Dol Makyar. What an eventful combat it has been. Crow Keepers were sent off on a wild goose chase and chased that goose right back to our heroes. Azune Nayar just tanked a surround sound rogue quad strike, only to be joined by the rescued Davinos Blix. Halandil Fang dropped into the darkness, healing worded the young grad student illusionist, and with an upside down bat swing, Murray Magnessen got her wayward pupil back up on his feet and out the door. Bolaire, we just ended on Bolaire's turn as he dropped down post Shatter Spell to find Laumi, who had dissolved the body of the Crowkeeper Captain Zagi. And delivered a dissonant whispers, banishing this entity down deeper into the darkness on a nat 20 intimidation and a failed wisdom save against dissonant whispers. Laumi has exited combat, leaving all of you with a room with 4 Crow Keepers. And Azune, that is going to be your turn. Murray and Davinos have entered the room, and there is an illusory knight made of light that is helping you in combat. Murray's color spray has blinded two of the Crow Keepers beside you. It will only last for a turn, but you do have advantage against those Crow Keepers.
I have advantage on everybody because my innate sorcery is still active. Woo! As that vortex spins around me, I turn my attention to the 2 that are not blinded, and I do the following things. First thing I do is I convert a first level spell slot into a sorcery point because I was down 1 and I need 2 for the following thing. I'm going to first, for my action, attack one of those with Booming Blade. Again, the sparks of fire and electricity are absorbed into my Warhammer as I strike at this guy with advantage. And that's going to be a 20 to hit.
That is a hit.
He is gonna do 4 points of bludgeoning damage as he gets pushed with my weapon mastery 10 feet away from me.
Great.
And is now ensheathed in booming energy.
Cool. And he gets pushed 10 feet away from you?
10 feet away.
With booming blade. Sick. Very, very cool. Amazing.
And I'm not done because now I'm going to quicken spell with that sorcery point that I have. Bonus action, I'm going to move into the other one that is not blinded, and I'm going to repeat the same thing. Booming blade on that guy.
Hell yes. Let's do it.
Sorcerers, baby!
And that is going to be a 17.
17 hits.
Great. That guy takes 8 points of bludgeoning damage, gets pushed 10 feet, and he also is sheathed in booming energy.
Bam. You guys watch Azune just clear half the battlefield, boom, as these 2 thieves go flying ass over tea kettle back into the chamber. Incredible. Azune.
Where's the exit?
The exit is this door ahead of you here.
Okay, I'm gonna stay where I am so that people can get around me towards the exit.
Awesome. That is going to go and be the Crow Keeper's turn. As these 2 that you've knocked backwards are going to re-engage with you, I believe Booming Blade
activates.
Hell yes.
The first one who took 4 now takes 6 points of thunder damage.
Unbelievable.
And the second one, who took 8 earlier, takes 4, so 12 total on that guy.
You see one of them does not manage to get up as he just writhes, stays down as that sort of electric and thundering power resonates. The other one, looking on death's door, rushes, mostly to just give his blind allies flanking to cancel out their blinded status. He's going to take a swing with advantage. Does a 22 hit?
Reaction shield.
Again.
Oh my god!
Come with me if you want to live.
Yeah.
These guys can't stop rolling useless 19s. They are rolling so hot, and it doesn't matter.
I'm out of first level spell slots now with that reaction.
Unbelievable. That is the enemy's turn. We come back to Halandil Fang.
Okay, I see Bolaire. Did you just pull back up from the hole at the end of the thing? All right, I see something. I see the mask morphing back.
Oh, it's already back.
It's already back. Long way from Salon Knights, and I rip Thiazi's blade off of my belt and brush past you into the entrance and size up the group. I see that Azune is surrounded.
Yes.
And I'm hoping I remember how to sword fight, and I'm going to swing around. Do I have enough movement to get here? Or
yes, you can get to flanking on that other road.
And
Come on, just like the foils that you practice with.
Yep. That is 2 18s.
Wow.
So that'll be 21 to hit.
21.
Yep, 21 to hit.
21 is a hit. On that hit, go ahead and roll damage.
Big D6 rolling. Here we go. 2 plus 3 is 5 points of damage from the Liar's Blade.
Rushing in, Azune, who has been shielded now 2 rounds straight, gleaming armor. This is a veteran of the Falconers Rebellion and an arcane marshal of the city. This is a guy who comes down into dark holes to find people doing shit all the time. Standing here, you look and watch how all of you see the guy that Thiazi spent his life keeping away from this. You circle around. First time the sword is in your hands. How do you want to do this?
Oh.
Woo!
I just rush up. I'm thinking about Azune, who is family now. I took him in, my brother sent him to me. I took him in like he was a nephew or a cousin, and he became family, and I don't have time to size up the situation. I just see that he's in danger. I have put this life behind me. It is back, and I just slide the blade right through this guy's gut right here all the way through, and I'm looking over his shoulder at you. And then pull the Liar's Blade out and watch as the guy crumples to the ground. And this is all happening in seconds, but you watch as I just let the sword hang at my side and stare at it. And that's the end of my turn.
Oopsies, you did a murder.
Here we go. We have this life. It has found you. Demidus, looking at the image of the knight here. See, Demidus gets up, still badly injured, hops out of your arms, Murray, and stands, you see, casts only like half of a disguise self spell, but sees that the other two are blinded. And you see, Demidus stands up and is going to roll a deception check with advantage with a plus 6 to this roll. He'll roll with advantage, but he's looking for a DC 20, so one of these needs to be a 14 or higher. 19 and 16 on the die. You see Davinos jumps to the side and goes as an illusion just covers his throat and speaks perfectly in Thieves' Cant. Can any of you speak Thieves' Cant?
No, I don't think so.
You just hear like, hand your stickers! In Zagi's voice perfectly. Wow. And you see both of the blinded ones toss their weapons to their guildmaster as their weapons go flying out of their hands. Apparently he said something in Thieves' Cant that registered as Zagi asking for their weapons.
I look at Davinos and I go, two college credits for that.
Murray, that is your turn.
Okay, so they are disarmed
and blind.
Are we trying to kill these guys or just get GTFO?
Honestly, I think we have time to not that I'm in there. We have time to actually do a search of this place, and I'd love one for questioning.
We only need one.
One for questioning. All right. Well, only need one. I'm going to pull out. Let's see how this works. They updated this spell in 2024 to actually be useful. So we're gonna try it. So Murray is going to once again go to those daggers that she has on the back of her belt, and this time she is going to actually physically pull one out, and I'm gonna cast True Strike as I go for the jugular of the guy who is directly in front of me.
Go ahead and roll with advantage.
So basically,
Is it a bonus action now, or is it?
It's not a bonus action, but it's not you. You do the attack in the
As a
same
part of it?
in the same round. Yes, instead of waiting a whole turn and wasting your attack. So basically, the new thing is that guided by a flash of magical insight, you can make an attack with the weapon used in the spell's casting, and I can use my spell casting ability for the attack damage rolls instead of using strength or dexterity.
Wow, that's really way better.
Yes, and then if the attack deals damage, I can choose for it to be radiant damage
or the weapons
damage.
I love that. They made that really good.
They made it better because before it was kind of useless. Yeah, you didn't want to waste a turn.
A turn, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
So let's see what happens.
Rolling with advantage because they are blinded.
Oh my god, that's right. Okay. Let's go. Get him. Baby, that's a natural 19, so that's gonna put my attack at 25 to this guy.
25, hell yes. Let me just make sure that the blinded condition till the end of your next turn. Yeah, you got it. So, great. So at the end of this turn, they will come out of blinded. You hit.
Okay, let's see. It's just a D4, but hey, that's 1 damage, baby.
Plus your intelligence modifier.
Plus my intelligence modifier. Oh, wait, really?
All right.
That is 7 damage.
Hell yes.
All magic, that is.
That's all magic.
Murray, reaching out into that divinatory sense, the same thing that allows you to cast augury, the same thing that allowed you to see into the Stone of Nightsong.
Hell yes.
In that way, you know when you rub your eyes and there's a lot of like people's multiply and they kind of zoom into one? You do that with butterfly theory, there's infinite possible futures. But the closer you get to the present moment, it's way less than infinite. So you're like, in the next half a second, there's like 12 possible futures. Let's boil that down to 1. Blam! And watch as sort of rippling through that next little fraction of time, whoom, your dagger reaches out and you slash for 7 points of damage. One of them is badly injured. There are now, only one is at full health. The other is badly injured. We are going to move on to Bolaire's turn here.
I am, and then I will just use my movement. I still want to make sure that this student that I am rolling in the sewers with, I'm going to kind of once again grab him, and I just want to kind of shift a little just so we're not base to base with this guy, if we're able to.
You grab Davinos and hoist him away. Because these guys are blinded, they will not get an attack of opportunity on you as you move away from them.
Okay.
And you scooch off with Davinos away from the living opponents. You grab Davinos, and Davinos in Zagi's voice goes, "Unhand me, cur."
Stop.
Stay in character. And you grab Davinos and pull him away.
Okay.
Bolaire, that is you.
Okay, I'm going to walk into the room and assess the situation.
Wounded. These two are no longer blinded. The color spray leaves them. You and Azune are acting on the same initiative. This one right in front of Murray is badly injured. The other one is uninjured.
Which one looks? Which one has the more appetizing body size and stature?
That is subjective.
It really isn't.
This guy right here.
The one who's
uninjured.
The one who's uninjured is one
Is
that
tasty.
is one that would not arouse any suspicion.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to wander in, and I'm going to. I'm going to wander right by the one who's badly injured, and just pull my sword, give it a little shake, and use my bonus action to let it shatter down into a very, very fine. It's a scalpel, but like slightly longer and heavier. It's a dagger, basically, of glass that's just left over. And I'm just going to go for a straight stab and cut. I'm just going to try and end this with that one.
Oh, with the wounded one. Yeah. Cool. Give me an attack roll.
I haven't done this yet. I'm so excited. It's dagger attack. Straight D20. Not great. 7. Oh, I have advantage because we're flanking.
Yes, you do.
Aha. Thank God. It's the same. 7. 13.
13 is a hit.
Oh, thank God. That would have been really embarrassing. And then...
I know.
8 points, let's just say 8 points of necrotic damage.
Incredible. This slit opens up with glass, and it looks like the cut grows into the rest of the neck, just boom, and falls to the ground dead. There is one Crowkeeper left, Azune. Or so bonus action here.
That was my bonus was summoning. Just asleep when you're going to need him for questioning.
And I'm gonna clobber him.
Hell yeah! Give me an attack roll.
I am gonna booming blade.
Cool.
I'm flanking.
Flanking him, yeah.
I don't need to. Nope. Straight attack. At advantage because I'm flanking, and
going for a knockout.
Yes, non-lethal, but I am. That's not gonna do it. So it's gonna be a 9 to hit.
Okay.
So I'm gonna consume a second level spell slot.
Okay.
To quicken spell.
Great.
Booming blade.
Great. Let's do it.
Do I keep the one that rolled off, or do I re-roll it?
Whatever you apply now is the rule forever.
Re-roll it. It would have hit.
Keep it in the octagon.
19.
Cool. 19 hits.
Into the octagon.
Great. I'm doing non-lethal damage. Hopefully knocking him out. That is, well, he's. I don't think he's been touched. So that's 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage is not going to knock him unconscious, but he is badly injured. As this.
And I will push him.
Okay, great.
10 feet.
10 feet. He slams into the wall here. No longer blinded. He can see that Zagi is not in this room.
I will tell him, you move, you die.
And Booming Blade makes that. Go ahead and give me persuasion.
Okay. 19 on the die, 25.
The Booming Blade crackles over him, and he becomes aware, looking at his friends who died where they fell under the might of this spell, that he does not move, drops his weapon, puts his hands up. And we are going to exit out of combat as this last Crowkeeper surrenders. Well fought, schemers.
First battle!
First battle!
First battle!
I love it.
These pencil pushers can still fight.
You look and see this glowing, radiant knight turns and extends this like 7-foot broadsword at the Crowkeeper and says, "You have wronged us, the friends of justice. That is our name and what we are known by. You will leave this place. You will get a real job. You will apologize to those you have wronged. You will make amends. It is the first step. You will,
I just look at Davinos. Are you trying to scare him straight? What are you doing?
These guys beat me up.
Well, we're going to need this one unconscious, my friend.
Okay.
Please.
The glowing illusory knight goes, "Fall asleep now. 10, 9."
Can I choke him out?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's no sweat, dude. You just go over, put him in a sleeper hold.
8, 7, 6, 5.
And I think that.
Did it, yeah.
And I just let him slump onto the ground.
Can you do that to him too, as I'm holding Davinos?
Is that what you want me to do?
No. I, Professor, oh my gosh. Hi.
The Crowkeepers. Really? What were you thinking? Kind of pocused you.
Ow. I'm sorry. I owe the Crow Keepers money from a long time ago. That wasn't even to do with all this mess. That was like I've been trying to. I went and found them and told them that I was going to be able to pay them back because things have been going good in the marketplace, and then they outlawed performing in the marketplace. And then that was like back on their like field of vision. They were like, I'm so sorry.
I know you've been in a tough spot. You're a scrappy kid. You've always been very resourceful and innovative. But I've always been in your corner, Davinos. You could have come to me. You wouldn't have gotten in trouble if you needed help. We could have figured something out. You know that, right? I know you don't. I understand more than most that it doesn't always feel good to have to always ask for help. I know. You want to be able to stand on your own 2 feet, and I love that about you. But my boy, this was a dumb mistake. You are a smart kid. But that don't necessarily mean you streetwise.
You can be, a pattern can be dumb when every instance of the pattern made sense. I didn't ever make any, I can look at the sequence of choices and see that it was stupid, but you're in a bad situation, so you make the best choice you can, and you don't get.
Hey, I just kind of grab him in for like a hug. It's not like it's a Murray hug. It's not super intimate or necessarily comforting. It's a little bit of a tough love hug as she puts one of her arms kind of around his shoulders and squeezes him tight. It's all right.
Maybe you should have left me in the hole. I think I did something terrible.
I assure you, you did not.
Hey, you don't have to explain anything to us. One, because we kind of already know pretty much everything, at least enough. That wasn't stupid. You saw a gig, you saw an opportunity, and you took it.
It came through the school.
I know. They exploited a very valuable resource in a program that how many times have we said at the Penteveral, best training is going to be on the job training, right? I'm not mad at you for that. I truly am not. Hey, I'm glad you're alive, kid. Truly.
Well, me too. I think that I'm really grateful, and I'm really sorry, and I'm really scared. You see that the giant illusory knight looks over and goes, There. I may not be real, but I think you did a great job.
Can you kill the guidance counselor?
You see that Daymond goes, thanks for saying what I wanted you to say in my mind. And you see that he pulls the illusion back into his hand. He just looks at it and goes, Professor, he looks and says, were you here for the Crow Keepers, Lieutenant, or were you here for me?
We were here for you. To help you.
Okay.
You're not in any trouble. I'd like to know.
Beg to differ.
Well,
not from us.
Not from us, but you are in trouble. You had a plan to leave.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. I think something bad might have happened to Pimley. He was supposed to get me out of town in a wagon, and the next thing I knew, it was open and the Crow Keepers were there.
You're so sweet. You're very
you give people the benefit of the doubt, and that is a quality. That's a quality. But unfortunately, one that people will exploit. I need you to understand that. Okay? I need you to... We're gonna have to teach you to, like, you know...
Be less trusting?
Yes. God, are we that jaded and cynical? We are, aren't we? It's smart, though. You know what? We'll talk about that later.
What do you want to do with this guy?
I want to keep him for now.
Are we taking him with us, or are you going to do whatever you want to do to him here?
Well, that depends on how we want to play this. We could take him with us.
Are those manacles still on Daymond?
Yes, it hasn't stopped his spell casting at all, but it just connected his wrists.
Oh, we won't be needing that.
Well, what?
For now.
For this guy?
For now, anyway.
These also probably wouldn't fit the human. Yeah,
right.
You know, these
okay.
You see that Daymond looks over and says, "Hi, Master Lathalia.
Mr. Blix.
Are you... God, you really all came looking just for me?"
Well, it does take a village.
Hi, I'm Daymond. Nice to meet you. Do you work with Mr. Undragore?
Many years, yeah.
He's great. I talked to him. I don't know how long I've been down here for. A day ago, a week ago.
It just hasn't been that long. It just feels like it.
He did right by you. You've got a lot of people looking for you. You should do right by you.
It is worth noting, though, Daymond, that the Crow Keepers were honestly just a pawn. If you think these guys were bad. The Taconuses are not a good family to be on their shit list.
You're on their shit list. You knew that, though, right?
I swear it was awful.
What did you see?
It was awful. Okay, so the morning that I found out about the job, I left my dorm. I headed out for school, and I stopped by the bulletin board with job listings, and I saw there was this new thing that was like illusion work, and I went and I talked to Dean Cora, and Dean Cora introduced me to this lady who was like really, really nice and friendly. Her name was Trimus, and she basically said, "Hey, like, this is the money." They were offering 250 gold pieces.
Does this seem like an exorbitant number to you?
Is that not an exorbitant number? That's more money than I've ever had in my whole life.
Oh no, I think I want this job now.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, I'd be happy to make a referral. Just watch out for the first step. It's a doozy. So I met her. Dean Cora introduced me to her. I talked in her office. She was like, "Hey, we have a job. We're looking for an illusionist to come in and create something really special for the Royce family. We want to do like Emery music, and we want to do Sylvan writing, and we want to do all this other stuff." And they had a big list of stuff they wanted to do. And she said, "You're going to be working with this woman, Ophelia Saramai, who's going to be there managing everything for the party." And the first thing I noticed when I got there was I was doing this Sylvan writing as like a goodbye note, and in the construction of it was like we're off to ferry. That was the first thing I noticed. I was like, if this is a gift for the Royces, why am I writing in the? I was like, at first I thought it was like a practical joke. And then I was like, I don't know that the House of Taconis feel like practical joke people. This lady, Ophelia Saramai, she was awful. I mean, she was barking at everybody. There were a lot of soldiers there. She was screaming at some of the soldiers. And we got to the Davinos, the big Davinos house, and it was just like empty, and there was nobody there. And there were other Taconis people that I could just smell abjurative magic on, and they'd been there for a while already. Like they were going in, and you've been in the abjuration hall when they're doing counterspelling and stuff like that. Like it has that smell that's kind of that like
burnt ozone.
Yeah. So that was everywhere. The like dispelling smell, and the Trimus, she was like really pretty. She had like a black gown, but like was truly really, really nice. And then Ophelia, she had like this birthmark. I don't know if it was like a tattoo or a birthmark, but it was like these rings around her neck that were like red and yellow and black. And she was working with a soldier there. His name was Lieutenant Janaeus. They talked about so much stuff. I was there for like hours working my ass off. There was just like so many things to do. They added a bunch of stuff at the last minute, so like I ended up not being that well researched. Like they wanted a bunch of candles to look, so I just ended up doing blue candles, which is not even one of the Royce colors, but I just didn't know to get the right shade, because the illusion has to track the candle all the way down while it's burning, and the movement of light as it goes down. It's just a trickier spell. So I just wanted to do something that I knew would work, even if it wasn't quite the right color. There were soldiers packing everything up. Lieutenant Janaeus yelled at some of the soldiers that were packing things like clothes and jewelry and things like that. And Janaeus said, if so much as a signet ring turns up at a pawnbroker, there will be harsh disciplinary measures for the entire unit. Which, yeah, like you don't want your soldiers stealing, but it all felt so weird. This was like a party. What's the stuff going? They were moving those crates out to the gardens while I was in there. I was hungry at one point, and one of the soldiers, the soldiers were laughing while they were looking at me, and one of them offered me a slice of cake and said I could eat 3/4 of it. And then he would take it, and I did. I took a couple bites, and then they went and like placed it somewhere to look like
a party.
It was getting close to when the party was supposed to start. Janaeus ordered 4 of her soldiers, said, do one last sweep of the grounds. The last thing we need is some scullery maid hiding in a cupboard somewhere. And I went, this is fucking wrong. And I was really, really hungry. And I just was getting yelled at so much that I just actually got some real food and went and just like hid in a closet for a second, because I've been working way longer than they said I was supposed to work. And I was also just like almost running out of spell energy, and Janaeus walked in with the lady Ophelia, and she was like making a report. She was just talking about, she was like, she said, my lady, the falcon has just been delivered to Obermus Manor. Does that mean anything to you? And the lady Ophelia was like, yes, it does. Your soldiers, are they sweeping the grounds? And Janaeus said yes. And then there was a weird long pause, and I had a mouthful of food, and I stayed really still in the closet. And then Janaeus said, they're loose ends, aren't they? And then the Lady Ophelia said, "So are you." And I looked through the door, and this soldier who was really tough was crying, and I saw Lady Ophelia, who's very tall, walk up and put her hand like really nicely on Junius's face and say, "They're going to give you the scar for this. You don't have anything to worry about." And Junius said, "It's been an honor to serve you." And then some guy barked outside. Lady Ophelia said that'll be Lord Ethrend. Come with me. They left, and I ran. I just fucking ran. I said, "Oh, there." I was like, "Look, I'm kind of a fool, but I'm not an idiot." And to be honest, even if I hadn't heard the loose end stuff, watching someone touch someone's face and be like, "They're gonna give you the scar for it," it's already so bad, right? Someone saying it's already so bad. They could have said all normal stuff, and the way she touched her face, I would have ran. So I don't know what I did, but I know that I helped them do something. You know, the Lady Ophelia was like really exacting about how everything needed to look and how the music needed to sound and everything like that. And I don't know what happened to other soldiers. Didn't seem good. But I mean, like, I heard there's a bunch of other conversations that I heard that day, but there was shit I heard earlier in the day that I wasn't thinking to pay close attention to, and now I'm trying to, like, remember it now, and I'm, like, having a hard time, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, when you're just like, "Oh, it's not my bit, like, not my circus, not my monkeys, I'm just here getting paid to do these illusions," and then you're thinking back, like, what did they say about this Houndsport something? I don't know, like, a lot of stuff.
More might come back to you as time passes. You were just unconscious not long ago.
Yeah.
Did you see any blood? Any
blood? No. No.
By that.
No trace of that, nothing like that.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I was sitting here, you know, you're a wizard getting paid by sorcerers to do magic. Sorcerers don't have any problem doing lots of magic. They just have their kind of magic they can do. Yeah. So, like, if they're, like, killing people, I don't know what the fuck happened. Like, I don't know what happened there, but I know it was really bad. Mm-hmm. And, like, if they were cleaning up, like, dead bodies, they wouldn't need my help, right? Like, dealing with dead bodies is, like, 100% of what those guys know how to do.
I don't think especially you don't need to worry about any of that stuff. I think we need to figure out how to get you out of here. Where were you going to go?
I don't know.
You were just gonna leave?
I really don't know.
The boy's not safe.
He's not safe.
I don't want to leave the Pentemporal. I don't want to leave. I don't have anywhere else to go. I literally don't have anywhere else to go.
You certainly do.
Wait. Where?
We can hide him in my apartment if we have to. No one's going to come looking for him there.
I think we send him with King Gus.
That's a lot of faith to put in King Gus, and that also means making sure that he knows what's happening, that he believes us. That's a lot.
Well, hiding in your apartment for how long?
Honestly, I don't think this is going to be very long. This is moving at great speed.
Well, if you're comfortable with that.
Why are you bringing... Is King Gus King Augustus?
Yes.
They talked about him while I was there.
They did.
Did they?
What did they say?
Earlier in the day, they were like, oh, there's a the lady Ophelia it was Trimus only just like brought me there. She didn't stay for very long at all. She said, and she was like, I have to head to a place in the city. It was some Helvarian word, I forget. Because the Argosian delegation has just arrived. And Lady Ophelia said, like, oh, they're going to be paying King Augustus a visit. And she was like, sooner rather than later. And I don't know, it just sounded like delegations of people visiting.
Did they have any particular disposition about it? Irritated?
They were laughing.
Interesting.
It seemed like, I don't know, rich people laugh when like they haven't said anything funny. Sorry to, I don't know if I don't mean to offend. You're like the richest guy I know.
That's very fair, and no, I'm not offended.
It's like, I thought I haven't seen you in that gown since the last gala. And you're like, what the f was that? It wasn't even a joke.
Okay, now I feel a bit offended. But...
No. I'm really. I know I should have come to you, and I'm really sorry I didn't. I just was really. I really thought that the people who have taken care of me a lot would be really proud if I could do it on my own.
We're so proud of you.
Well, you did do it.
You did.
And you got out of there. So we just want to make sure you're safe.
You have no idea how what you did might save an enormous number of people.
What?
This is good news. And no one is born with wisdom. You earn it the hard way. Everyone with it earns it a hard way, and this was a very, very difficult collection of wisdom that you just had.
Son, I think you did very well for what life threw at you today.
I agree.
No one stands on their own 2 feet. If they look like they do, it's because they're standing on top of people you cannot see.
Thanks. Lieutenant, I'd like to lodge a complaint against House Taconis.
Take out my note.
I think they're killing a lot of people. Also, they owe me 250 gold pieces, and I don't know how to get it from them.
I'm writing it all down.
I heard Danny Carr laugh so loud.
It's the best.
You really hit it as you just hear that in the far distance.
Yes.
I'll see what I can do.
Well, we actually might be able to make good on some of that right now. And I'm gonna head back.
Me too.
And let's turn this place. Let's toss it.
Let's toss it. Do we plan on taking a short rest in here at some point or not?
I don't think we should take a short rest in here when there's a moss monster.
Well, it's very
yes,
fun.
taking a short rest right now, wherever it went.
How about we turn this place upside down,
Yes.
and then we get the hell out of the sewers, and then we definitely take a rest.
And we got this guy with us.
And we got him with us.
Does it make? Well, I was going to say I know we haven't nailed the mechanics down, but if someone's unconscious, does it take an attunement for me to attach to them, or do you think I could do it?
I think you can just do it.
Okay, good to know. All right. So I'll help for a minute, and then I'll go change into something more comfortable.
Okay.
And this guy who
I'll
is
need a little help.
unconscious, do we have him
bound
and secured?
I'll
so
tie
in
him up.
case he rouses?
Mhm.
Okay.
You have manacles for your work. You know, like you can just
That's
truly,
right.
yeah,
You're
you can
a
just
cop.
truly manacle him.
That's
and,
right.
yeah.
Already done.
Already done.
Okay.
He is up around. You guys head back down into this filthy area of the sewers down here.
Those crates.
Go ahead, anyone. Let me know if you're casting any magic about it, but otherwise, give me any check you want to make down here.
Yeah, now that Einpassen's not breathing down my neck, I'm gonna go into my normal investigator mode, and I'm gonna focus guidance myself as I investigate this place.
Cool.
Are you doing detect magic, or do you want me to do it?
I am not doing detect magic.
Cool.
I will. Can I do it ritually?
You can.
Yeah.
I can ritually do a detect magic, which I will do. It'll just give me a quick minute.
That 10-minute casting to cast detect magic. I think honestly, you're casting it as you're poring over, just like literally piece by piece examining. So Arcana, investigation. Are there any other skill checks we want to make?
I was going to go straight investigation as well.
Straight investigation, great. Go straight investigation.
Well, I'm going to do two things. One, how's Daymond looking? Is he all right?
He's in a state of deep emotional peak. He's in a euphoria that he's alive. Like as soon as you're like in the hands of crow keepers and you're being beaten and asked for information, and then you're like going into unconsciousness as they're like, who are we gonna sell him to? Are we gonna sell him to the? As soon as you're in that world, you're like, I'm dead. You're like, I'm dead. You're like, oh, I can't believe I'm one of the people whose lives are gonna end in the most frightening, sad way. And now there's a euphoria of a life he already had like spent some time saying goodbye to, but he thinks his life is over. Like he did every part of himself he gave to this school that now he can't stay at. So I think that you're looking at a weird mixture of grief and euphoria that is just sort of in a kid with a bloody nose just swaying on his feet. You know, it's like looking at some broken, like he's like, oh man, my eye drops are broken. Like
he's not nursing some greater wound at this point.
No, with 6 hit points, he's okay. All right. He's badly beaten up, but he doesn't. He's got a lot. Has not a lot of strength in him right now.
I think then in that state, Hal goes over and takes a knee, and then just like kind of grabs him by the head and like opens up his eye and looks at him. Sort of claps him on the cheek and then stands up. Hal is still a little bit listless and a little out of it. But I think he's going to go sit down just on a dry spot, and he begins to recite fragments, syllables to himself, and just under his breath. You can't even really hear what he's saying. And he just does that for several minutes, and after the end of 10 minutes, that equates to a ritual casting of Comprehend language.
Awesome. Comprehend languages and detect magic are cast. Let's go ahead and give me these rolls here. We'll get investigation here, Arcana here. If there's any skill you want to roll here, you may do so as well with Comprehend.
Yeah, I'm going to look for any thieves' cant carved into.
Cool. Awesome.
Any language or any language.
Gotcha.
I'm going to use a luck point. Fuck it.
Great.
Hopefully we get a long rest soon.
Azune, what do we get here?
I got a 1.
That one.
And I think.
I'm back, you guys.
I think I started to seeing Daymond start to get more and more vulnerable. I'm like, I don't know how to handle that.
Yeah.
And so I try to go into work mode. I start searching, but then as I focus on the corner of my eye, from the corner of my eye, I see Hal approaching Daymond, and I'm distracted. I'm saying, the father that I never got to have being everything I never got to this kid. And I find myself frozen and out of sorts. And I don't even know how to do my job anymore.
You find yourself gazing at what should normally be speaking to you in a language of clues here, but it's just filth and muck in the darkness.
I hate this place. I can't see. I can't see anything, and I'm gonna control flames to brighten those torches.
Bright light helps illuminate this room, and you can see the walls are like caked in like any seam of masonry is just a river of sludge, of where like the in between the dark crannies of the masonry have just become choked with the mycelium network of this fungal creature. What do we get for investigation here?
16.
16 here. What do we get for Arcana here?
25.
25. Hell yeah.
And I investigated for writing of any kind. 19.
19. What is your focus in your investigation here, Bolaire?
I'm looking for objects of note, anything that looks not magical necessarily, but like something that somebody was using. If there's a desk in here, I'm looking for where they might be hiding paperwork.
Yeah. There is a table in here, but no desk. This looks much more like a way station and meeting place than it looks. This looks like a place where long, very criminal conversations can be had in potentially large groups, right? Rather than a place where you would come and work privately. It's too uncomfortable. And additionally, it is clearly a place used by the Crow Keepers, but also at the behest or with the permission of this creature who is here. You can see there's like food that's already rotten in a corner. You do, however, I think on a 16 investigation, find 3 potions of healing in a corner that our rogue allies just did not live long enough to get a chance to use.
I will say, as I said it, I thought of one other thing that I would check that had just occurred to me. Are there any hideaway spaces, a loose stone in the walls? These are criminals. They must keep secrets from each other. Is there anything? I'm just going to sort of walk the walls and
hold out for like one of these like areas to sort of showcase a secret chamber or a hiding place here.
Honestly, even a loose stone where you might hide some gold.
You find a couple different loose stones, and I do think you actually find a, going along the walls, you actually feel your foot brush against a tile that kind of buckles under your foot a little bit more. Lifting that up, there is not a full treasure chest, but a small sort of hand chest that has about 60 gold pieces in it.
You should give it to the kid.
We will be giving it to the
Yes.
Student loan forgiveness.
Student loan forgiveness. On a 19 investigation looking for writing. There are thieves' cant symbols on the wall that are done in glyphs that would be like sort of invisible to a normal passerby, but point this place out in Crowkeeper cant of like this way to the meeting place. So the Crowkeepers are sort of a citywide guild. It's possible that this like meeting place would have been only known to Zagi, only known to like 1 or 2 sub bosses, and so there'd be a place to find it for those that were looking for it here. On a 19 investigation under the collapsed wood and everything else like that here, I think you would see Zagi's body was destroyed, but back over here, your comprehend languages passes over a table that doesn't contain any writing. But you know that trick where detectives will scan graphite over a page to see what the page was on before it?
Like, yeah.
Love that.
You see bits and pieces of like 100 names have been written on scraps of paper on this table before. It's a mess of like where they were written. They just sort of come back to you over and over again. But you think that this is a place where people who have defaulted on their loans, people who have made one too many bad choices, or people that are just a little bit too wanted have been in this chamber before. You think Laumi is maybe a connector point. Like, Crowkeepers know how to fence their own stolen goods. They know how to fence their own, like, ill-gotten goods and stuff like that. But for trafficking in, like, a magical person or, like, a certain type of entity or something like that, that's foul shit. And you think that this Laumi figure, that this may have been a way station for them when they came into that kind of thing. You also know, by the way, that the reputation of Crowkeepers, like some that lived in the Rookery, would never have done something like this. Like when you were a kid, the Crowkeepers lived by like a thieves' code or something like that. So I think that you wonder almost if there's some degree of what goes on in here where some Crowkeepers know about it and others don't. On a 25 Arcana, with Detect Magic running, Laumi is Fae. Laumi is a Fae entity of the Fae realm of Harrow. Most fairies that you encounter will be of the various Fae realms. There are Hallow, Harrow, and Hearth. Hallow being a place of natural beauty and wonder and splendor, and Hearth actually being what wizards consider to be the closest to the world of Ahriman, to the material world. are fairies of domestic life, those that like help tend to gardens and mend broken things, and all the legends of fairies that sweep the hearth if there is some small propitiation made to them. The fairies of Harrow are few and far between, and they're quite a bit rarer, but they're things like hags or kelpies or those kind of dark and sinister fae. You correctly clock on 25 Arcana, like going deep into the lore, that Laumi is a Ralgranath, which is a mold entity, a kind of putrescent, like rot creature. However, that means that Laumi is someone who got trapped on the wrong side of the doors when they closed, right? In recent history. And I think, too, on a 25 Arcana, as you're moving around, Hal and you guys, I think, Hal, on your comprehend languages, you find a piece of Sylvan writing in the floor that is a small piece of actual fairy poetry that you recognize.
I do speak.
You do speak Sylvan.
I speak, yeah.
With Detect Magic, you find that as well. And I think that you can see that there is a little bit of fairy poetry that's like written on the ground here. And you find... 1 second. Also, with the bright light on in this room, I think you can see, Azune, that the filth is starting to retreat from the brighter light. That the light appears to be like it appears to be partially like
recoils from the light.
Recoils from the light. Yeah. There is a bit of fairy poetry at the end that on a 25 Arcana, I think you speak Sylvan, right? There is the beginning of a stanza, but not the end of it. And this is written in a script so fine that you wouldn't have even spotted it, I think, without... you wouldn't even spotted it. But I think Hal and Murray, you both know that the final line of this stanza is, "To love the world is to weep."
That's the part that's missing.
That's the part that's missing. But you would both know the Sylvan poem that speaks that. So you know that's the missing phrase.
Carved into the ground?
Everything leading up to that final line is carved into the ground.
Is carved, though.
Is carved into the ground. In extremely fine, hard to read print. But you can see it through your Detect Magic, and you can see it through your Comprehend Languages, because you realize that covering the carving is this sort of mold or rot, but on the script, the mold changes color ever so slightly, goes from like this sort of darker black mold into sort of a light, fuzzier gray that traces the script.
And is it giving off magical
Yes,
essence?
you're detecting magic from it.
Do I happen to sense what kind of magic?
The magic that you are sensing here, I believe, is transmutation.
Are you saying any of this out loud or no?
Sure, yeah.
So do you actually say the final line of the stanza?
Yes.
Out loud?
Yeah.
Do you say it in Royani or do you say it in Sylvan?
Well, I don't speak Sylvan, I don't think. I do not.
Right, you have
But
comprehension.
it just makes sense to me, so I will say it in common.
Cool.
And then I'll echo it in Sylvan and see what happens.
As you say it in Sylvan, the panel in the floor opens, revealing several small silver-capped bottles a bright silvery necklace jangling with charms. There are, you see that there are a collection of small velvet pouches. How clean it is in this chamber is the transmutation magic. It's created like a sealed pocket. There are hanging from small, like silvery cup hooks. There are 7 little velvet bags containing small, something clacking like stones or gems in there.
How much of this stuff is glowing under her detect magic?
Oh, it's all glowing. And all of it pales in comparison to beautifully stacked, crisp, 40 blank spell packs. 40
That's
blank
what
spells.
I wanted. Oh.
I'm glad I used my last
Yes.
point.
Oh my gosh.
I rolled a natural 17 with my 8 Arcana, and I call it my Padman die because they're little wizard. They're little. It's frogs with little wizard hats.
Little frog wizards.
So thanks, Padman.
Padman Pod.
Yeah.
Love it.
Score.
I like just grab Murray and squeeze you, brilliant person.
Oh goodness gracious! Oh my God!
I'm gonna quietly, as this is happening, walk over to Hal.
Thank you, Shapers. Okay.
You know, I think that Hal has been a little on guard with Bolaire since learning this news all this time, but in this moment, after everything that's happened in the last half hour, he just sort of gives and leans into him and even rests his head on your shoulder, which I assume is 5'11".
Like
always.
Right there, for my taller head to land. And I just stare at this pile of clay discs and think about all this shit.
You give a little bit of your soul, but in return you get the boy.
I haven't taken a man's life in almost 30 years.
I cannot relate. I haven't been in this situation in many years. It hasn't felt like war in many years. Just survival. This is war. It is exhausting. We saved the boy.
Save the boy.
And in a moment, I'm going to have to do something uncomfortable. I'm going to need a bit of help.
With that, I raise my head and turn to you.
And it doesn't have to be you. But it is an imperative that I ask you first, because I owe it to you. I don't think it's healthy, and I don't think you like it. But it is not a secret it's not a secret I can keep from you. If you want to see the worst of me, you can wait.
In for a copper, in for a pound.
Well, this is somewhat terrifying for me as well.
I'll take this. Thank you very much. And this, thank you very
3
much.
for me.
This, thank you very much. We can always sort this out and see what all these spoils are, but I am cleaning this full thing out.
I'm there helping you.
Oh my goodness! I'm more excited than a blink dog at a barbecue. Okay. Gather everything.
Yeah. It's knocking over everything.
I know.
We'll be back in a minute. I'm going to start setting something up. How?
And I'm guessing, is there anything else here that I maybe missed? Anything on any lingering bits of gold pieces, magic jewelry on the thieves?
Oh, on the thieves?
Anything?
Yeah. Unfortunately, most of the thieves' remains are honestly, a lot of the gold they had on them is like corroded.
Yeah.
Like anything that was not, it's like, it's
Got
pretty.
the ones in the other room.
Yeah. The ones in the other room, those ones that you defeated upstairs without Sludge Monster's help, you could probably get another 12 gold pieces off of them.
Okay.
Great.
Anything I grab, I'm just going to literally toss to Davinos. Any type of gold.
Oh, great. Then I won't write that down.
Oh my god.
Gold I toss to Davinos. I'm keeping whatever this nice necklace is, though. This looks lovely. We'll see if it makes sense for me.
While we're doing this, these two, did you step into the other room?
Yeah. Davinos goes, Mr. Bolaire, do you need space to do what you're going to do?
I was just going to do it up in the other room.
Okay.
And stay with these two for a moment.
Got it. If you need help, like, covering our tracks, I can try to help out.
I think that would be great.
Yeah.
I'm going to start setting up something that looks... I'm going to start setting up something that makes it so we can blame someone else for some of this.
That would be perfect.
Okay, blame someone else. Let's tag team it. Professor.
You start in here and we'll go upstairs.
So staying down in the sludge chamber here, see, Davinos looks at you and says, want to see something I've been working on for grad classes?
Show me what you got, kid.
This is my thesis.
All right.
Blix's bungling blitz, and you see that the walls become filled with blasts from spells that were not cast. Multiple signature, like a rival Thieves Guild signature pops up, along with a glimmering emblem of House Taconis. There is a sort of broken pennant in the corner of the Falconers' Rebellion. Alongside over here, like a flag of the Daradai. There's some gold pieces of the Daradai Consortium. It's just like anyone who would come here and get an investigation check would find
one of these.
It would probably find all of them and go, I don't know what it's the classic, like, in fairy folklore of the farmer who, like, finds the leprechaun and it shows him the one stalk of corn where the gold is buried and he ties a red ribbon around it, and the next morning comes and every stalk of corn has a red ribbon around it.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh, it's all of it. I don't know.
We just want to hit Taconis.
Do we You're not going to take that ribbon, will you? I'm not going to touch it.
Do you want it to be confusing, or do you want it to be specific?
I don't know. I think
it's already done.
Yep, that's fair.
Do we have the impression that that they were going to meet Taconis down here? Or that they were going to do the handoff here, or was that going to happen somewhere else? I guess we can find out when we interrogate our friend.
If you guys step to the other room.
Yep.
I kind of, while Davinos is doing his thing, I'm gonna turn to Azune and kind of under my breath. I can't help but have the question rolling around in the back of my head. If Dean Cora knew exactly what she was sending Davinos to do.
What's your gut tell you?
She was very adamant about painting Davinos in a bad light, sullying his name, making him out to be a slacker, not showing up to class. So specifically, when we were talking with Bolaire about having an internship program, and of course I was thinking about Davinos, he's one of our star students, and she made a very concerted point to steer me away from him or plant doubt in my head. It didn't work. I know better. I've known him far longer than her, but if a kid goes missing in just 48 hours earlier, you sent him away with the Conises, with a sundered house. You're not gonna go and immediately ask the adults that you sent him off with? If a bunch of kids went out on a field trip to the mountains, you're not gonna ask the chaperones first? It doesn't sit well with me. It's foolish and ignorant at best, or sinister at worst.
I think it's probably sinister. I think that there are some people here that are willing to use people up, throw them away. And your instincts, Murray, I think are pretty... I've just seen in the last couple of days, I've seen them prove them how... You're very good at what you do. And I don't think your gut or your heart will ever steer you wrong. And what happened to you the other day, earlier today, at the mural? There's something that happened to you. Your eyes got really weird, and I think something's happening to you.
I think it was just the overwhelming realization that as fucked up as everything is in this city right now, that us, you, me, Bolaire, Hal, are exactly where we're supposed to be. And this crashing, overwhelming force and sense of responsibility. And that somehow Thaishi knew. Help Murray. He told Hal, help Murray is one of the last things that he said. He took his last breath to say, help Murray. And I think it's just because he believes in me. I'm a shit person. But that's not what Thaishi thought. And I don't think I ever fully knew that. I don't know how else to interpret it. But even if I didn't know it, he knew that I would want to do the right thing. And I think that theater is going to be important. I think that theater is going to be where we stand our ground. I can't put my finger on it, but it's just this overwhelming sense. I could feel the vibrations and the pulsings through the atmosphere, and it was like the clapping of every molecule that makes up the atmosphere clapping its hands around my head. How did Thaishi know?
He seems to have known a lot. I think maybe he suspected that you can see things differently, feel things differently than other people. Do you?
He's a kid. Azune. Daymond is a kid. Do we have a dean in my school that's willing to take these kids and throw them on the fire? I thought that Dean Cora was just a dummy plant, just someone who would maybe do the biddings, or at least not even ask questions against the Sundered Houses and standing up to the people in power. I thought that maybe they just thought, put someone there that's malleable. But if this is true, it's so much more malicious. I don't know. I think I'm just This might be the first time I've been truly scared. In a long time.
What's it make you want to do to her?
Beat the ever-loving shit out of her the way they did to Davinos. Fair play, bitch.
Let me know if you need any help. I like this. Murray, I like... Sometimes you look at me and I think that you put on me a little bit of the disdain that you have for the institution that I work for, and it makes me feel like I might be losing you because of the position I'm in, but moments like this remind me that that's probably just in my head, and I really,
That's absolutely in your head. I could never hate you, Azune. You're a good egg.
Thank you, that means a lot. I will kill somebody for you.
Same for you, my friend. Help Murray. Help Azune.
Okay. I'm happy to help.
Let's go see what fucked up shit Bolaire is about to do.
Yeah, maybe.
Might be a good show.
Bolaire, retreating from Davinos as he begins to cast his illusion spell, you head up the ladder.
Hal follows.
Hal follows.
The first thing I begin doing as I enter the room is I start taking off my shirt, jacket, and cloak and folding them in the corner, somewhere as clean as I can find it.
Do you need anything from me?
If you're up to it. If you're not, I understand. We can make it work one way or the other. You can undo the manacles on our friend over there, and forgive the brashness, but I'm going to have to change clothing, and I'm taking off my clothes and folding them in the corner if you're willing to unmanacle.
Sure.
Or unconscious.
I'm not excellent at it, but I assume if I rifle through his person, I can find...
Yeah.
A way to get him off.
The manacles can come off.
Mm. And I'm going to need the clothing. So I at least start taking the shirt and the clothing off of our friend.
Off of the same one. Right.
Off of the man on the floor, yes. And start putting it on.
At this point, Hal just backs up to a wall in the room and just witnesses.
Checking to make sure I'm leaving anything that would identify him as a member of the group. Just want to look somewhat typical. Oh, and I have the other half of the seal in my pocket.
Yes, you do.
I go back into the pocket of my clothing and put it in my new pocket. Right. Let's see. Do any of our dead friends have swords, or is it just knives?
You got some short swords here, yeah.
I pick one up. Do you want to do the honors?
Excuse me?
I'm going to need to die. And then I'm going to need you to take my face and put it on our friend over there. But we're going to have to make this body look like it died in a battle. They won't recognize him.
You know, in that moment, I think of how everything in this city and in my life is flipped upside down in 2 weeks. I wonder where my children are in this city and abroad, and Elodie. I wonder where Thaisha is and if she's all right. I think of my brother, his body, waiting to be interred somewhere in the city. But that all takes place in just a second or two. And I stare at this mask back in its face and take the blade from your hand.
Whatever you do, end with a stab to the chest so that I can fall into the corner. If you decide not to put me on that body for any reason, just don't leave me here to be found. My life is in your hands. I don't know what else I could do.
Back up a step or two. And I'm not much of a fighter anymore, but I do flourish the blade after years of practice. And then just stab forward.
I grab with my hands and let them cut into the blade to break them.
And I start to actually wedge, hammer down to make it a messier wound.
I take as many of my fingers off as humanly possible as this goes. The face doesn't wince.
I shove my foot against his chest and kick him off and widen the wound even further to leave him a gory mess on the ground.
Coup de grace. Bolaire, you die again.
Blade drops from my hand, clatters on the stone. And I tentatively step closer and look into the holes of the mask. Is there anything?
They're no longer deep. They're like a blind mask, if you've ever seen one, where the pockets that are normally those giant endless pits with the light deep inside them, are now a trick of the light. It's just been painted with a slight concave round and just tiny holes punctured in them so that whoever's underneath it can see out. It's just a theater mask.
I'll test it, the edges of it, with the tips of my fingers. Does it come away?
Like it was just lying there.
It's actually somewhat strange. There's not even ribbons on the back or any way to fix it. It comes off so easily.
I really carefully spin it in my hands to see the other side. What is on the other surface of this thing?
There's a slight opalescent sheen. Just as if glue, the glue that put it together, the paper mache just managed to capture a moment of this pearlescent oil slick, and then right beneath the eyes, there is gentle handwriting. There's this beautiful cursive handwriting that is too light and too delicate to truly be seen. Like you would have to get.
Is that true with comprehend languages still?
Oh, it's readable. Mm-hmm. It's just very light and small, and you would have to get a lot closer to the mask to read it.
Do you look more closely at the writing?
I will bring it to about here.
I will say, at this moment, Murray and Azune enter the room. As you see Hal bringing the mask closer to his face to read it.
And we just see a dead Bolaire.
We see Bolaire's body.
Well, what you see is one of the crow keepers that you don't remember fighting is dead on the ground. Azune, give me a history check with advantage.
Okay. Natural 20.
There was something on your desk the other day. Aubris Drime, who was an informant for an arcane martial case, had gone missing and missed an appointment with one of the inspectors. Aubris Drime is dead, but he had
an informant.
But Aubris, yeah, he was like a fence. He's like a cult fence, but he You had no idea that he was affiliated with the Crow Keepers. You don't even remember fighting him in this room.
No. What is going on?
Can I read it?
Hal, go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw if you'd be so kind.
Oh, no.
Come on. Please, for the love of God, be something good.
19.
19. You read the words, your thoughts unravel. And you hear applause so uproarious that it might also be the noise of the world cracking apart at the core. And on a 19, what does Murray say as she sees Hal holding the mask?
I don't think she says shit. I think she's just gonna wait and watch and see what
happens. Then on a 19,
sorry.
On a 19, I think you read that, but there might be another coda at the end. So on a 19 wisdom, I think you successfully save and have to ask if you want to move in the direction of that applause or if your curiosity is sated.
I think that's intoxicating. I think it feels pretty irresistible, but having just spent a moment of time thinking of Thaisha and Iyengar and Shadia and Hero and Elodie and everyone at the Hallowed Round, I think that he squeezes his eyes shut and presses the mask away from his body. And spins it over in his hands.
How?
He doesn't answer. He just walks over to the new home.
The unconscious Crow Keeper, you place mask on his face. Bolaire, you open your eyes, looking up at your friend Hal.
Oof. I start to get dressed.
You feel groggy.
I don't say much. And also, there's a healing potion over here, right?
Correct.
Fucking take it.
You take it because you're in a body that moments ago was choked into unconsciousness by Azune and Nayar.
Yep. So I'm at very low hit points.
I think even before you get the clothes on, I reach out a hand and help you to your feet. And Hal says, very theatrical, which echoes through your consciousness. And I cast Healing Word.
Oh.
And heal you further.
You are the first person who's been here. Anything like this has happened, it's never occurred to me to ask.
For a big 2.
Will help.
2 ones.
There is a box somewhere in a space that only you can see with the mind of a man who's been in jail, but never one like this. Beating against the bars. Screaming, I'll tell you! I'll tell you what I know! I'll tell you what I know!
While my face is uncharacteristically blank, as I look at everyone, somewhere in that box, sitting in the audience, a mask floating by itself, just says, of course you will, but we'll get to you. And then comes back out. My hair. And I walk over and pull the wig that had been attached to the previous body and put it on. And then very quickly pull out a blade and cut just enough out of the old face that they can't make it talk with any necromancy.
Last thing I'll add to this is I think that Hal wants to just stay shell-shocked. He wants to navel gaze and think, how could this happen? All of this, everything. But there's just too much at fucking stake. So he just draws himself to his full height, turns around, walks towards his other friends, passes Murray, squeezes her shoulder with a smile, walks up to Azune, and his hand grasps the back of your head and does a little squeeze massage, and he smiles. And he might not feel it, but he's a very good actor. Get dressed and let's get out of here. And I walk past them all out that door.
I need a drink.
You all head out. Daymond comes up, having missed this entire display, and walks up and goes, "Everything go good covering your tracks up here?"
Couldn't have been better.
Awesome.
Yes.
And you guys head out of the sewers.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Into the night.
I tell Davinos, give yourself a little.
Oh.
Something else.
You see, he goes, "Oh, got it." And you see that he reaches in, some shattered bottle, he's got bits of glass, he does it and rubs a little on his face. It helps his sort of beard grow in, a little bit of stubble. And he illusory gets rid of his swollen up eye. Okay.
Nice.
You saved my life. Things have gotten really crazy lately. And that's all for this episode of Critical Role.
That was fun.
That was fun.
At the back of the mask, you crazy person. Sorry, I'm good.
My kingdom for a long rest.
I know. For a long rest.
Oh
Me
man,
too.
I'm at 2 hit points.
This day is, I think, maybe the craziest adventuring day. I'm looking at, I'll put it this way, in the timeline that our lore keepers are keeping, this day has a different font size. Let's see if our schemers can take a fucking day off next week on another episode of Critical Role. And as always, is it Thursday yet?
Bury my brother.
I still gotta bury my brother. The fuck? I can't. This will literally be that we had the wake episode 1 and the burial episode 23.